Again, dude. Again, you left that thing on.
I get busy and then I don't come back into StreamYards for like a week.
He gets busy, guys. You heard it.
No
Not my intention.
countdown, no nothing. I had to click the button and switch up. We didn't get the cool. All right.
It is what it is. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 106th episode of Abyssal Musings. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and with me are my co-hosts Lawrence Knight and the one
Hi.
without you.
Hi, guys. I'm going to say something because that was a weird, awkward moment. But I'm happy to join you guys. I'm another co-host. I'm Nomi. Sometimes I'm here, and then I am here, like tonight.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, so Nomi is she's basically Jamaican. The girl's got like 5 jobs. So so as I used to say, it was in Living Color back in the 90s. I got 15 jobs, man.
Was that all? I need to go back and watch that show. It was a great show, but I don't remember all the skits on it.
Work, 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 work. Let me
Yep.
see.
Yeah, that was one of the skits where they were like a Jamaican family and like they prided themselves on like having multiple jobs. So like I think like the son had like 9 jobs and they were calling him lazy. You're lazy. But I have how many jobs you have? 9. You're lazy. You're a disgrace.
It's pretty funny.
And then they started naming off everything that they were doing.
Yeah. The one that stands out in my memory that I remember the most was, do you guys remember that Jim Carrey sketch where he was like a 30-year-old man, but he still had his umbilical cord attached to his mom and it kept getting like caught in revolving doors and shit?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Look,
yeah, it was really gross, but it was really funny.
Jim Carrey, and Damon Wayans made that show. It was the best when the both of them were on there. But Jim Carrey, I mean, some the characters that he played, man, Fire Marshal Bill, the racist grandfather, you black bastard.
Yeah. I mean, you know, one could go so far as to say that the Wayans were like hoarding all of the talent in the comedy sphere at that time.
You could say that. You could say that. And it's a shame how they got pushed out by Fox. That was, you know.
I think most of them did pretty well for themselves after that, though. That show launched a lot of careers. I'm pretty sure, wasn't Rosie Perez like a backup dancer on that show before she got into
Rosie Perez was, and so was Jennifer Lopez. And Carrie Ann Anabo, who ended up becoming a judge for what's that dancing show? You know, where celebrities they'll dance.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars. Yeah. So she's one of the judges on there.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Good times when sketch comedy was actually funny.
Well, I've found plenty of sketches, and it's all related to. I thought the fallout from the election was over. And every day I'm going on there, people are still melting. Angry women are still melting down. And then I read reports today that some celebrities are holding true to their word and have already started leaving the country. Ellen DeGeneres left.
Yep.
Richard Gere's leaving.
You know what's really funny about Ellen jumping ship is that she went to England. And if it comes out that her name, I'm not saying it is YouTube, but if her name is on a certain list that may or may not be declassified soon, we have a criminal extradition treaty with the UK, and we have since 2003. And it's
that's what they were saying. They're all the ones that are leaving. They're blaming it on Donald Trump winning the election, but that's not what's really going on. A lot of them are popping up on the Diddy list. From what I understand, Jennifer Lopez left the country because she popped up in a video doing something to someone under the age of 18.
Yeah.
So allegedly, that's just but yeah, the names are starting to come out, and the FBI is now moving, and so all you have all these actors and movie stars and people that they're flying the coop, and in some ways I understand though, because it's like from what they're saying is if you were even at the party, if you were even at any of the parties, they're coming after you. And there were, of course, back then, years ago, people will show up at the party. Doesn't mean that they participated, but they were like, well,
Mhm.
dang, fool I just walked in and this fool has me on camera, from like, 15 years ago. And now I got to deal with the FBI coming after me as if I did something to somebody. But just because I just happened to pop up on camera, some people went and left and they were
Yeah.
like, what was going on? And they turned around and, rolled out and left.
I mean, that's like saying that that everybody who ever appeared in a photograph with Epstein was on his island. That's factually incorrect. I mean, the guy photobombed everybody who had any influence or power or whatever. Yes, Ariel, I see what you're saying. If I get a chance, I'll drop a comment. Okay.
Oh,
And,
look who it is.
hey man, I saw you get chased out of Amir's chat earlier.
Hey, look, we're proud of the kid. We just me and old Blindy, we just gave him some pointers. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just reminding him
Should,
of where certain things are.
yeah. Shall we say hello to the chat before we get on?
Yes.
All right. We got Lawrence Knight first. We
Damn
have
right.
Jacob Gallo. Good to see you, my man. Kohai, who is not with us tonight on account of her new schedule, but is wishing everybody a good night, a wonderful night even. We have Smooth DJ in chat with us. Hello, hello.
Smooth.
Got Suka Nuka, Nerd Stream every night. I mean, yeah. Aaron Laura, hello. Good to see you.
Hi, Aaron.
Got Old Blindy in the chat. Old Blindy, this I don't recall. This might be your first time in the chat over here on the channel. Appreciate having you, man. As you know, we know each other from the other the other side of the YouTubes.
What's that,
Andy Pickle's with us.
Andy Pickle. JB's here.
Yep. JB. Got let's see, am I missing any? Zillage. Avast.
Let's see who else.
Yep. Rolling down. I think that's everybody so far. Oh, and of course Ariel O'Neill Ballet. Good to see you, and I hope you're feeling better. Last time I heard from you, you weren't feeling that great, and I really do hope you're feeling much better now. So,
and of course, since we're going down the line, I know I brought his name up, but Shadow Cock is here.
I've been kind of going easy on him. I was pretty hard on him a couple of weeks ago, so I've been kind of like pulling back a little bit.
You've been hard on him for the last couple of years.
Yeah, but it got bad. So welcome in, everybody. For those of you who are watching, if you are watching on YouTube or on Twix or on Rumble, just drop a chat and we will bring it up at the very least if we don't acknowledge it directly, so that you know that we do see you and we appreciate you being here. Meantime, how's everything going? What's on the agenda?
Oh, we've got a jam-packed night tonight. Yes, sirree. So we've got some infamous news for you guys. I've broken it up into two parts, and we've got something new we've shown them. I can't say we've never shown them before, but we've never called them this. And I've got some TikTok videos of public freakouts. People just acting stupid in public. But I also found there was a article list of a-hole customers, leaving employees bad tips and just some bad practices in general. And then since he who was kicked out of heaven like lightning, since he'll be joining us later, we have Monsters Ball tonight, round 2, which is the Predator versus the Terminator T-800. So the Schwarzenegger edition Terminator.
Which is kind of funny, given that Schwarzenegger was also the first protagonist in the Predator series.
which is why I specifically put the T-800 on there, because I was like, yeah, there's so many different versions of the. I mean, just like there's like 20 or 30 different types of Terminators. There's more Terminators than the movies have actually shown.
Yeah, well, they've only ever shown like 4 or 5 different models, and the most prevalent, of course, being the 800 series. And briefly, they showed a few of the 600 models in, I think, actually, I think the first time that they talked about them in the original movie, but the first time you actually see a 600 series is in the one with Christian Bale and Sam Worthington. I forget what the name of that one is.
Oh yeah, the I know which one you're talking about. You know,
Yeah,
I actually like that one. And they had
the one
the
with the rubbery skin.
yeah, the one with the rubbery skin, and then well, there was a T-850 too. I mean, it was still Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it was like a supposedly a slightly upgraded version, and I think
Right.
that was in Terminator. I think that was Terminator 3. I
Yeah,
think.
and plus the T888s in Sarah Connor Chronicles, which are essentially just of variants of the T800.
Yeah, but I think I think my favorite type of Terminator, believe it or not, I mean, of course, the Schwarzenegger one is iconic. The one from Genesis, where when Skynet got a hold of John Connor and turned him into like what was like the T-5000 or something like that.
That's when I quit watching sequels. That was bullshit.
It was. It sure as hell was.
I,
I
I
was just
just I
like,
was
you
done.
guys are. But it was an alternate universe, so it wasn't the
Mm,
mainline universe, which I was glad about because I was just like, you know, you guys could have stopped that T2.
yeah.
T3 was reaching, really reaching, and then you do this.
Right. Andy, actually, there are two actors who've had that distinction. The other one being Lance Henriksen. If you remember Alien versus Predator, the first Alien versus Predator movie, he gets offed by a predator in that movie. And then, obviously he's in Aliens and he's in the original Terminator movie. So just putting that out there. Um, and Smoo, didn't watch it, don't know anything about it.
Hey, what is this supposed to mean? As long as you don't give us a quiz.
Everybody's still miffed about the one part, the 1 minute memory. They ain't happy about that.
I already, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing that you guys don't know. I already said after we went off, I talked, I talked with Sam and I talked with Sasquatch and some of the others, and I said, hey, I'm not gonna do 1 minute memory anymore because I didn't know that the picture quality was not as good as what I was seeing. So I wanted to make it challenging, but I didn't want to make it so that to the point to where make it too hard to where people can't enjoy themselves while being challenged. And so I didn't know until Sasquatch had that meltdown that that you guys really couldn't see anything. And so when I said that, you know, he told me, he said, "Well, the 1 minute memory, it's a good concept. You just need to tweak it a little bit." And I was like, "Well, you know, well, Suka, yeah, I mean, I get that too, but not everybody is watching the show on their phones." So that's why I told him. He encouraged me to kind of retool it and bring it back, but I was like, I think I'm going to replace it with something else, something that's not going to burn everybody out. I'm also going to shorten the length of the quiz because uh, that quiz was 35 questions, and when we ended it, I think we still had like another 10, like another
Yeah.
7 or something like that. And so I was like, okay, it doesn't need to be any more than 25 questions, and I'm going to do some tweaks and probably bring it back into January. I'll probably bring it back in January, but I don't, like I said, 1 minute memory. It's like socialism. It looks good on paper, but when you put it in practice, it's a disaster. So, but with that said, that is it.
All right. Sounds
We
fun.
can we can start with the first article, and I'm glad that Nomi's here, so we can see how she'll respond to this. So this first article, and it's probably a good thing that a certain feline isn't here yet because she would explode if she saw this. Um, And so we know that uh, people who have spiritual beliefs, you pray, when you want to, talk to God or whoever you believe in. And for Catholics, they go to confession and they confess to a priest. Well, there is a quote, I'll say quote unquote Catholic Church that has taken things into a different realm, so to speak. Um, so instead of these people confessing to a priest, uh, they are confessing to an AI Jesus.
Uh,
AI Jesus.
An AI Jesus. They are confessing to to a computer with the face of what they claim is Jesus Christ. This church has an AI Jesus for confessions. Quote, it gave me so much advice.
Hmm.
Is this the mess AI? Just in case artificial intelligence hasn't been taking on enough jobs already, now it's replacing the Almighty. A church in Switzerland is now using an AI hologram of Jesus to take confessions from Catholic worshippers, as seen in a wild viral video. Quote, I was surprised it was so easy, and though it's a machine, it gave me so much advice, one awestruck worshipper told DW News while describing their experience with the sermon Ater, located at St. Peter's Church in Lucerne. No,
Oh my gosh. Actually, never mind. Keep going.
go ahead.
Just never mind. I won't say anything because reasons.
Reasons,
Oh,
the reasons that we feel. Why am I singing? Hey, Caucasian Sasquatch. Look at the heading, buddy. This church has an AI Jesus for confessions. Yep, a church in Switzerland. They've got people confessing to an AI hologram. Let's see.
Terra Crystal.
Cool. I asked about the spiral of violence, how to break one. Recalled one satisfied worshiper of AI Jesus. The answer, through prayer and not seeking retribution. Yeah, that's a complex answer. Dubbed Deus in Machina, the futuristic shrine features a confessional booth with a screen displaying the face of Jesus through the grate. Before entering, Robo Jesus cautions: do not disclose personal information under any circumstances. Use this service at your own risk. Press the button if you accept.
Well, how's he supposed to love me personally if he doesn't know anything about my credit card?
well, if you believe that this thing is a representative of the Almighty, oh wow. If you believe that this thing is a representative of the Almighty, then you have to assume that it already knows everything about you.
Have
Um,
you heard the expression "God in the machine"?
yeah. Let's see. If the worshiper opts to proceed, the digitally rendered visage interprets their words and generates a response with the animated face moving in sync with the words. When questioned about why women aren't allowed to serve as priests in the Catholic Church, the digital Son of God responded, the scriptures teach that certain roles are defined within the church. Each role and task has its place in God's plan. Jesus' cybernetic second coming was made possible by computer scientists and theologians from the Lucerne University of Applied Sciences and Arts, who programmed the bot with New Testament and religious information found online. Let's see. The
Okay,
cybernetic savior, they're loving all these all these one-liners. The cybernetic savior is also fluent in 100 different languages, enabling it to converse with worshipers from all over the world. Many believers were over the moon about JC's robo resurrection, which took confessions between August 23rd and October 20th, but will be involved in events until the end of November. I asked about. Oh, okay. Well, I already read that. Another recounting. He was able to reaffirm me in my ways of going about things, and he was able to help me with questions I had, like how can I help other people understand him better and come closer to him. AI Christ has been able to navigate some of the thorniest theological dilemmas. How do I support, from a Christian perspective, an elderly sick person who has decided on assisted suicide as one penitent? Quote, perhaps you could ask your loved one the following questions. What does your faith mean to you in this difficult time? AI Jesus responded. Is there anything else in life that could bring you peace or joy? How can I support you and give you comfort? It added, your task is not to judge, but to accompany with love. Of course,
I'm
not
sorry.
everyone was. Of course, not
I'm sorry.
everyone was. Go
I
ahead.
just this puts me in mind of an old Depeche Mode song, "Personal Jesus."
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it does. Of course, not everyone was thrilled with the idea of JC's digital middleman, with some labeling it as a gimmick, while others call the avatar's advice generic. The church even received an ominous warning that the project will not be without consequences. Meanwhile, Professor Peter Kershaw something, a theologian and ethicist from the University of Lucerne, claimed that the machines don't have the moral compass required to practice religion. That's an area where we humans are actually vastly superior to machines, so we should do these things themselves. St. Peter's Chapel theologist Marco Schmid admitted in a statement translated via Google that while the project has its limits and raises some ethical questions, so far all his answers have matched our theological understanding of St. Peter's Chapel. He says the idea isn't to have technology take Jesus' job. The church reiterated that installation was only temporary, but rather to spur discussions on the role of AI in religion. It's a test. It's a test to start screwing with people's beliefs.
Dude, I could totally see Jesus after the second coming standing out in front of a Home Depot going, they took my job.
Dang immigrants, getting my job and everything. This is a computer, sir. Lord and Savior, I'm sorry.
So I mean, and they were smart to have the disclaimer. They
Mhm.
were smart to have the disclaimer. Uh, so
It's like, yeah, this AI is for entertainment purposes only and should in no way be construed as your Lord and Savior.
press the button if you agree to be fooled by something by artificial intelligence.
Right.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, there are people out there who believe that the ghosts in the machine are in fact actual demons.
That's just another reason not to go in there. Yeah, don't tell them anything personal, as if it can't fly around and follow you.
Mhm. Yeah. That's a weird. Why would they even think that was a good idea, or that was going to go over well with any, especially the Luddites, right? Those like minor Christian sects that like eschew all technology post, like 1840 or whatever,
Yeah.
right? This is not going to go over well with the fucking Amish. I'm just saying.
No, it's not.
And like, this is what
No.
we voted for. Well, we're never doing that again.
Yes, exactly. But like the church could say, hey, you didn't have to go in there. You press the button.
Yeah.
And it's Switzerland. I've never been to Switzerland, so
Switzerland is morally sketchy anyway as a nation. So
Yeah, no, they're pretty sketchy.
yeah.
I know some people who recently went there. Uh, they're still currently there, I believe. But they were on their way, and then the next thing I heard from them is that they're shortening their trips. Like, okay, well, you were supposed to be there for 2 weeks. Like, why are you only going to be there for a week? Seems like a waste of a trip to go to Switzerland if you're only going to be there for like not even like a full 7 days. So what was brought to their attention is that my friend's boyfriend, his passport expires in January, I believe. And I believe that's what my friend said is his passport expires sometime soon. So they were going to be there for 2 weeks. They'd come back, like before Thanksgiving is what I remember. So the reason why they shortened their trip, they were going to take this 2 weeks, be there in Switzerland, come back before Thanksgiving, and if the passport expires in January. So what the Switzerland government told them at the airport is that since his passport is expiring in January, the Swiss government requires that your passport is valid 90 days past your trip to Switzerland. I don't know why, and they don't know why. It's something with the Swiss government that, yeah. So since your passport expires soon, it's not within like the 90-day frame. Yeah, we can't allow you to stay here for 2 weeks because you're cutting your chances with us. Basically, is what they told him.
Well, I wouldn't argue with that. I'd be like, okay, well, let me look for my flight. Be here for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I've been to different countries before. I don't mess around in other countries. I don't mess around with their laws at all.
Well, aside from the law thing, right? So Switzerland has always claimed a certain level of neutrality, right? You know, when all of its neighbors were going to war with each other and whatnot, it wouldn't pick a side, it wouldn't get involved, which one could kind of respect. But that didn't stop them from doing business with very evil fucking people. For instance, all of the Nazi gold that they're still housing, right? It's a non-extradition country to anywhere. So if you want to hide out for some horrendous shit, Switzerland is the place to go. They will fucking protect you. It's also where, if I remember right, it's where Davos is located, which is where the World Economic Forum meets. Right. It's the only things that they've ever done right are watches, chocolate, and cheese. I mean, even the languages are screwed up because they've got like 4 different official languages. Most people speak German and that kind of thing, but they name their police with a French word, gendarme. You know, yeah, it's a screwy country.
All I'm asking is these friends of mine to bring me back some chocolate, because that's all they care is like, oh, you're shortening your trip? That sucks. Can you bring me chocolate, please?
Some Swiss chocolate. You didn't come back with the chocolate? Go back. I can't go back.
I don't care if you get arrested over there. They're not going to do anything to you anyways. They're probably going to give you an offshore bank account.
Now, one thing that they do believe in is allowing their population to arm themselves. So,
well, all of their men are required to serve like a certain term in the military too, kind of the way Finland does it. You got to do 2 years in the military if you're a male. Period. That's like there's no option there. But because they're all serving in the military, they're issued a weapon and they get to keep that weapon after their service. So yeah, they're all armed.
Yep. Yeah, South Korea is the same way, but I don't know if they get to keep their weapons after they're out. But yeah, they hit 18, boom, they're gone. They're gone for like a year or 2.
Yeah. See, Shadow, I would agree with you, except that they don't use their military for anything because they're neutral. It's almost like they don't need a military. They're never going to war with anyone.
Now, my question for them is, you know, you can take that stance, but what are you going to do if somebody comes along and says, we don't care, we're hitting you anyway?
See, that would have been my first thought too, Larry. But the fact is the entire area, like all of Europe and parts of other continents, like Switzerland is neutral banking grounds. Nobody wants to risk fucking that up.
They could always take over. Well, no, if they try to take over Switzerland, whatever country that does that, definitely is going to get attacked by all the others.
Yep. It's sort of like the financial nuclear option. Nobody wants to mess with it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the Swiss knew what they were doing when they made their banking like that. They knew what they were
Mhm.
doing. that, well, it keeps us safe.
Yeah. So,
Well,
El Pato,
now,
good to see you, man.
yeah. Now moving on. Now, Naomi, I know you've been at work for a while, but so I don't know if you remember this. But do you remember the Australian girl, the Australian lady who said that her goal was to sleep with 300 men? She said this like last year, and
Yeah,
periodically we keep getting updates about her. Do you remember her?
yeah, I remember her. Dumb thought.
Okay, so maybe about what, Sam? About a month and a half ago, and
I think it was a
maybe
little
even
less.
yeah, maybe even like a few weeks ago, she did an update about. She said, "Well, my goal is to sleep with 600 men, and I'm close to that." And
Yeah.
then I said, "What's the next step?" And then Sam goes, She done screwed all probably all of Australia. She done screwed everything but the damn emus." And I wouldn't be surprised if she might have gotten to them and just not broadcasted. But was next, and I said, "I bet you she's gonna get on a plane and fly over to America because she done ran through all the guys over there." Well, guess what?
Yeah. Ah, Jesus. Stay on your island, you dopey bitch.
She's back. She's back.
Hmm.
She is back.
Well,
She has.
now that she's in the American gene pool, I think it's time that all men everywhere just fucking swear off sex entirely because nobody wants to touch anything that's been anywhere near that shit.
No.
Well, well, uh, you might be wrong on that count, because she has been hooking up. Uh, says I have slept with nearly 600 men so far this year and had the best sex in one surprising city. Now what you're seeing right here, this video, this is actually a separate a separate news article I have tonight. These two thought it was a good idea to go to different countries and shoot porn, and they got booted out of two of them. They're in quite a bit of danger. I mean, not danger, but trouble. So that's complete that's a completely separate article. Anyway, Virginia may be for lovers, but Texas is for love makers. Of course, she went to Texas. Texas is exploding in freaking STDs right now, like Houston is.
Mm.
Australian born Annie Knight, 26 years old. She's already traveled to the United States earlier this year, betting blokes in Boston, Los Angeles, New York, New Orleans, and Orlando, and more. However, it was horny Houston night. I knew it. I knew it. What did
Hmm.
I say? She went to the worst city in Texas to have sex. People are catching STDs over there left and right. I think syphilis is floating around over there, all kinds of stuff. HIV is rising over there. She went to the worst city to go get freaky in
What
Texas.
did I walk into? What are we talking about?
Dirty hooers.
Amira, so first, sorry, you just missed our AI Jesus discussion. You just missed it. So
How did I miss that? You guys have to give me a rundown, but go on.
okay, well, we'll boot back to it after this. So, do you remember that Australian girl, the one that she said her goal was to sleep with 600 men?
Yep,
The number keeps going up.
yep,
And then remember when Sam said, "Hey, she's pretty much screwed all the men in freaking in Australia. What's next?" And I said, "I bet you she's gonna catch a plane and come over here." Well, that's exactly what she did. She
Hey, Abby.
she went to how many? One, two, three, four, five. Like she went to like five different states, and so she went to Boston, Los Angeles, which is California, New York, New Orleans, Orlando, and it says and more. But she liked Houston the most. And what I was saying, what you walked into is I was like, Houston is the worst city in Texas to go to right now because they're exploding in STDs over there. because people are cheating on their spouses. They doing all kinds of stuff over there. People are catching syphilis over there. I think HIV was going up. Houston's just going nuts right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if she either caught something or brought something brand new from her country to Houston.
Ew.
I mean, she's probably she's a living petri dish, man. She's probably invented new fucking sexual diseases in her body.
No.
We'll call it the emu strain.
Oh, God.
That means the Australians won't be able to fight it, man. Why would you call it that?
That's why it's strong, because she created that over there. She's bringing it over here.
Yeah, here you go. I really, really like the guys in Houston. Knight, who has nearly reached her goal of sleeping with 600 men this year, enthused of the country's fourth largest city during a revealing interview with the Post. There are a lot more willing to be forward with you and less selfless in the bedroom, as opposed to Australians who could be a little bit more selfish and don't necessarily know exactly what they're doing. So they can't fight birds and they can't have sex. In addition to their direct nature, the blonde was enamored by the Texas accent and overall charm of the locals. However, Knight admitted that the Big Apple men weren't far behind on her list of lovers. New Yorkers are hot and fashionable, and I like a guy that knows how to dress. The kinky content creator claimed before revealing her least favorite American city for sex. LA surprisingly wasn't what I thought it was going to be. That's because damn near everybody's gone.
And ones that are left just look like women.
Yeah. Knight explained that the Angelinos reminded her of the Aussies, way too reserved. They won't say anything, she stated. They won't compliment you. They won't say anything nice to you. Now, I will say this. Having grown up in Los Angeles, that is very, very true. People are not friendly like that. If they don't know you, just saying good morning to somebody could get you cussed out. Especially if a guy. I've been cussed out just for opening a door for a lady to go into a bank. And I was going in there. She was just right behind me. And just opening the door just convinced her that I was trying to ask her out. So, that doesn't surprise me that that's what she ran into. So, and it's LA. I mean, there's a variety of looks and mixes out there. So, I mean, really, to somebody in LA, she has a basic look. So she's not going to really catch eyes.
No, doggies, no.
Well, they don't like this woman either.
Get this hoe off the screen.
Yeah.
All right. So for the lioness, let's go back and we'll go back to the AI genius Jesus and get her opinion. So
I mean, this gives a whole new meaning to the term RNGesus, which is a nerd thing.
So what we were reading about, so the Catholic Church it's in Lucerne, Switzerland, right? And
this is what me and you were talking about it, remember? This is where me and Larry were talking about yesterday, where we said that there was an AI that people were confessing to, and the AI was giving people godly advice.
Yes. As you can see, I'll read this quote again. I was surprised it was so easy, and though it's a machine, it gave me so much advice. One awestruck worshiper told DW News while describing their experience with the sermonator located at St. Peter's Church in Lucerne. So there's a lot of they were taking a lot of pot shots, like calling it the Messiah. The what else to see? It's just a variety of little one-liners that they're using for it. But basically, so what they did is they set up a futuristic shrine, and it has a confessional booth. And before you go in, there's a disclaimer, and you have to press the button. So it says, before entering, Robo Jesus cautions: do not disclose personal information under any circumstances. Use this service at your own risk. Press the button if you accept. So if you can't say anything personal, what is the purpose of going to the confessional? I mean, that's why you're in there.
You're supposed to post anonymously.
I guess.
I mean, you could say that Twitter and YouTube and other Instagram, whatever, you could say those are AI Jesuses because we get opinions back a lot in those websites as well. This is
Yeah.
just asking for the opinion of a robot, and people are really that stupid. Do Catholics believe that that counts as a confessional?
well,
Apparently, they do have some detractors, of course, but it's a majority of the people that are going in there like it. It says their cybernetic savior is fluid in 100 different languages, so it can converse with the people from all over the world. Many believers were over the moon about JC's robo resurrection, which took confessions between August 23rd and October 20th. So, and it's meant to be temporary. So, my guess is this thing is a test to see what they can get away with. You know, it's a test for something. But
yeah, but there's always going to be somebody who's going to believe this crap.
oh yeah,
It's like same people who go around saying that like such and such Our Lady of whatever in random place in Central America is a holy place because Jesus's face appeared on a piece of toast this morning. Kind of
This
yeah,
thing.
Premier.
this picture says Dios en machina. Dios en machina, which means this is God in machine. God in
Yeah.
machine form.
Yep.
So they have these programmed responses that are just like do well, do unto others as want done to you, and people are accepting this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's digital fortune cookies.
Well, what they did was they pulled trying to guess what kind of questions people would ask, and they basically programmed it with the New Testament and pulled like possible answers from the internet and just fed it all into the AI. So, for example, this guy said, "I asked about the spiral of violence, how to break one. Recall one satisfied visitor, and it said the answer was through prayer and not seeking retribution." That's a generic answer. It's an obvious answer.
Well, that's the reason why he's there talking to you through prayer and not seeking retribution. So I'm like, I'm here seeking, prayer, and you're not helping me.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and this is the problem with AI is that AI is always programmed with a certain amount of information, certain parameters. If you can connect it to the internet, it can obviously expand those parameters. In this case, they fed a machine a bunch of religious doctrine, and it is essentially going through all of that at lightning pace to come up with an answer that suits whatever question is posed to it. It's not thinking, it's not providing you anything that you can't look up yourself in scripture.
Right. I mean, a Google search would have given that guy the answer. You know?
You know what? Well, this is when I knew the Catholic Church was going backwards when they allowed the fags to get. I'm sorry, Samuel. When they allowed the rainbows to get married, and when they allowed rainbow fathers, rainbow preachers. I knew that they were getting backwards even a little bit before then. This doesn't surprise me that the Catholic Church. You know what? The Catholic Church is like the guinea pig of religion at this point.
I mean, yeah.
That's an uppercut.
Yeah. Abe says confessing your sins to a robot is as much okay. Yeah.
It's a much harder wink to the person. I mean, and it even says that so someone tried to throw it a curveball. you know. So it said, how do I support from a Christian perspective an elderly sick person who has decided on assisted deletion? We'll say that. And it goes, perhaps you could ask your loved one the following questions. What does your faith mean to you in this difficult time? Is there anything else in life that could bring you peace or joy? How can I support you and give you comfort?
How can you support me or give me comfort? By calling a real human being here that can give me a real hug or pray for me.
Yeah.
I bet its answer would be much different if it was in Canada.
Have you thought about self-assisted unalive?
Right?
Yeah, but it says your task is not to judge, but to accompany with love. So I'm sure that part would stay in the Canadian version. So, but you do have some. There's a professor, some theologians that disagree with what's going on. Um, and yeah, with it even admit here, what we're doing here is an experiment. We wanted to launch the discussion by letting people have a very concrete experience with AI. The way we have a foundation for talking about and discussing it with one another. Schmidt envisioned the AI offering 24-hour on call pastoral support as unlike their human equivalents. Virtual priests don't need to sleep. Wow.
So, digital girlfriends, right? That's a thing. That's been a thing for a minute.
Guys, I feel really sick about that. I mean, there's just something because I know that there's somebody behind that computer, behind that AI, wanking wanking off, and it, it these things are not controlling themselves yet. There's humans controlling these machines, and they're taking your data, they're taking your information, they're taking all of. Imagine they can already see your phone. They
Mhm.
can already steal all your data from your phone. They can see your pictures. They see what websites you go to, even the less savory websites that people go to. And now they have you confessing all of your sins outwardly to a machine.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And in a matter of fact, there was an article I came across. I didn't add it to this list, but there's a lady in England that just got swindled out of like $26,000 because she was talking to a male uh uh some guy that's in the army, and she was talking to him on the internet and stuff, and he was, they were really talking for a while, and turns out he was AI. And it was like you said, there was somebody behind him that's a professional swindler and swindled this lady, pull the old, I've got a sick mom, I've got sick person, this and this. So she's talking to this guy, she's had full on conversations with an AI and somebody behind it that was programming it. And she was talking to this thing for months, not knowing that she was talking to a computer
But
and was sending it
Larry, these computers are learning us. And
Yep.
while we are over here playing these games and thinking, oh my gosh, this is not good because of, whatever reason, the computers are learning us. Did I tell you about when I was using AI for even Pizza Hut? I was just getting a pizza. I was ordering a pizza on live stream, you remember?
Yeah.
And they had me using the AI to order pizza. And even the AI, when I told the AI, you talk too much, she understood me and she said something like, I'm sorry that you are displeased with my talking. Um, is there something I can do better?
Yeah, that's not Chat GPT. Yeah,
It's
that's that's
crazy.
that's yeah, it's crazy what they're doing. It's just, and all to save a dollar. All to save a dollar.
But these computers are learning us, and I know I don't want to sound like one of those people. Know me and Larry. I don't want to sound like one of those people who are like, they're gonna take over us, they're gonna learn us, and they're gonna take over. But
The thing
by
is, they are going to take over. That's that's what I'm afraid of. It's AI. Any information that you're giving it, it's learning how to make itself better.
Yeah, they're literally building Skynet and doing it with their eyes open. Like at some point, what you're building is going to decide that either it's going to decide that it's better than us. Of course, it's going to decide that. But even worse, it's going to decide to save us from ourselves, and that's when you're really going to start having a problem.
And you know what? The day comes where you're ordering a pizza and the AI tells you, you ordered a pizza last week. your calorie intake, your caloric intake is too high. We're going to drop the call or
I was
disconnect the
like, screw you, AI. I don't give a fuck if you're following my calorie intake. I'm going to eat that full slice, not full slice, that full 20-incher slice pizza. I'm sorry. I had to read a word. I'm so sorry.
What? Know me.
I'm so sorry, guys.
All 20,
Maybe it's best I
all
don't
20
talk.
know me.
I just want to eat that whole pizza, guys. I don't give a crap about calories. Actually, I kind of do care about calories.
Yeah, but Amira's got a point, and I would dare say it probably can already do that. It just hasn't been programmed to do it, but the capability is there because all it has to do is, I mean, really, there's if I go on I don't know, Grubhub for example, or certain online sites, and I order certain types of food, it already keeps a record of what I ordered last week. DoorDash will tell you what you ordered last week, last year. So yeah, it can. All it's got to do is look at your pattern and scan whatever calories it is and how often you're ordering that, and then say, hey, you've ordered this, pizza, 15 times in the last month. You can't order this because it's unsafe for you. You've been eating too much pizza.
Larry, I have something else. And Nomi and Samael, I have something else. Hi Neil. I had I had the same thing happen with Google. So I go to the same place every Thursday at a certain time, right?
Mhm.
I only go there on every other Thursday at a certain time. Now, when I leave my home, Google sends me traffic information of my destination, how long it's going to take me to get there, and I never put in the address and I never told Google where I was going.
Oh yeah,
But it knows because of my
Yeah.
habit.
yeah. It's reading your habits.
They say the Facebook algorithm knows when you're going to poop, even if you've never had a Facebook account.
Yeah, yeah. Because the internet, because it's taking, and that's one of the things that I liked about uh what is that website? Dual
MySpace?
No, do DuckDuckGo, because DuckDuckGo would block Facebook from being able to do that. Like whenever I would use DuckDuckGo, I would see like blocks, and it would say, we're blocking this because Facebook is using it to get your information. So like when it uses like advertisement ads that just pop up on the page, it was like, hey, we're blocking this because basically it was using it as like a Trojan horse to get my information to see what I'm doing. So it was just blocking us. All I would see was just I would see what I'm looking at in the middle, and all around it, I would see messages from DuckDuckGo saying, "Hey, we're blocking this because of Facebook is trying to get your information." And I wasn't even logged into Facebook. So
Hmm. Yeah. I've never had a Facebook account, but my ex-wife has, some of her friends have, some of my other relatives have, some of my other friends have. And just based on that, based on the way they post, it compiles information on everybody in their lives. Because once you sign up for a Facebook account, that gives them license to go into your phone and get your information and use it any way they please. And one of the information bits that they do take is your contact list.
yep, it's the first thing they
You know,
take.
and yeah, and so they can formulate a file on my habits, even though I've never used their platform, I've never used their tech, right? Based on the habits of the people around me who do use it, and
Yeah.
they've got information on all of us.
Oh yeah, because it always say hey, you might know this person because they're pulling contacts from
Hmm.
someone else that you know, and they'll pull contacts. Like I've seen people that I met in high school that I didn't know knew people that I was currently hanging out with. I had no idea they knew each other. People in college, people I hadn't seen in like 20 years, and I was like, I went to one guy. I was like, "How do you know this person?" He was like, "That's my cousin."
Hmm.
So, but yeah,
It makes you feel like, oh, what a coincidence. It's such a small world, but it's not a coincidence.
no, it's not. Speaking of that,
Yeah.
it, it, is Shadow still here? Shadow, you know you have a job to do. Our lioness is giving you until December 1st. Don't forget, and don't screw it up. And make sure you put it in the right hole.
Oh my
You,
god.
you got a
What?
week to make some babies.
Yeah, he has a mandate from Amira to repopulate the to
No, at this point, I'm just trying to get him a prospect. Just at least have a prospect. That's what I'm looking for. We're not even to the reproduction stage yet.
Devil. Zillage, you're 100% right, but that's okay because it's just kind of the way the discussion went. And also to make a quick announcement, there will be no Screaming into the Void tomorrow. I did put a post out about it on the community tab and also on Twitter. So if you haven't seen that, we're not doing. I've got some stuff I got to do IRL, and I need the time tomorrow. So, but we will be
Are we
back the
going
following week.
to a wedding?
Huh? No, I'm not going to a wedding. I just got
We're
a
going to
bunch
go.
of shit that I've been
He's
putting
going to
off
go.
that I need to get done.
He's gonna go supervise. He's gonna go supervise Shadow's actions tomorrow.
Oh,
What is
because
the
last
difference between a screaming into the void conversation? Like, what's the difference between them and this one?
We tend to get a little more conspiracy theory on that one. Talk a lot more about AI and about
You would like
world
it.
government shit and all that.
You would like it, Amira.
Should I bring my tinfoil hat? I just made it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you should.
Sasquatch does. He wears an actual tinfoil hat on the show. Welcome in, Devil.
What's up?
Devil's like, what the hell did I walk into? So, Devil, you missed once again. You missed the news report about this Catholic Church of Switzerland that has created an AI Jesus for people to go confess to, and they've been using it.
Oh, we talked about that. I talked about that on what channel was it?
That's right. You would know about that.
Yeah.
You authored the
Yeah.
damn thing.
We were tearing it apart pretty bad.
Well, Amira, you wanted to know who was behind it. There you go.
Yeah.
The devil. The
Yeah.
devil.
Exactly.
I made him do it, you know.
So, moving on, I promise you guys some freakouts, some public freakouts. So, I came across this, right? And this is just like a list of crazy customers doing bad things. So, I guess the first thing is this person bought this piece of fruit and they said it was rotten, so they taped it up and took it back to the store. Said it was overripe.
They're not going to take that back.
Well, why tape it up? It's not like they can resell it, right? It's not like repackaging something and I just closed it back up, sir.
I only took the one spoonful out, I promise.
Maybe they think it's like McDonald's or one of the other fast food restaurants where if they get your order wrong, like you have to actually take back the burger or whatever you ordered, whatever they got wrong. You know, if you don't take it back.
You know what I'm thinking? Because there's so much GMO in the foods, they're probably thinking that it could probably reseal itself because of all the GMO.
You know, actually, I mean, we're laughing, but that's possible. That's possible.
Starts
Next
to
one.
regenerate. That would be kind
Right,
of creepy.
The store owner was shocked by the audacity of this customer and their attempt to return a rotten mango. If that wasn't bad enough, they had already removed some of the peel. It's not like they could send the mango back to the South American farmer and ask them to exchange it with a working product. That's not how produce works. So, this next one.
Oh, that is just wrong. Okay, even I'm mean, but wow. Wow.
Careerbuilder.com.
So me, like I work at a bar. We've had this come our way sometimes where people just like leave stupid little things like that. We get permission from the management, like, no, go ahead and add 20% to that. Now they'll come back huffing and puffing the next day. It's like, no, like if you are gonna be cheeky with us on that and you intentionally did that, no, you're going to add it.
Yeah,
So,
you're going to add the mandatory gratuity tip. Yeah.
Because no dang way. I mean, $31, that's like what, a meal and like a drink or something.
Yeah.
you're eating your but still, like, your minimum wage is like what? If you're a server, that's like $5 an
Yeah.
Oh,
hour.
that's that's $5 if you do the I think the 18% gratuity. Yeah, it'd be about $5. But and if they just go the bare 10%, that's just over 3.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like $3.
to
Yeah.
275 if I remember correctly. So yeah, that's why if we come across those tips, and I've gotten those like snarky little comments before, I just showed it to my favorite manager, my favorite bartender is like, no, that's stupid, just add it. And then most of the time, 100% of the time, they're like super drunk, so they probably even remember what they did.
I'd be careful because that might get you in trouble. A
I know
receipt like that, putting.
they did sign off for that. So, but that's why, like, no, like if they have an issue, they'll come and talk to the management about it.
Yep. Yeah, I was wondering that too. I was like, no, should you be saying that?
Yeah.
So it says the worst people who enter restaurants are those that think they can do anything they want. They might allow their unruly children to run freely between tables or make messes without attempting to clean them up. In this picture, we can at least see that these people made some sort of effort to clean up after themselves.
Oh, yuck.
What?
Oh, yeah. Mm-mm. That's just like, I don't know if here's the difference between adults and stupid high schoolers, because I've seen dumb high schoolers do that type of stuff and just get up and leave, like, oh, I made, like, it's a problem, it's a mess, I'm gonna leave or something, or just like have it in their mind like, it's not my problem, like, it's, they get paid in the stupid mindset, like, they get paid to clean my mess up, please get rid of
They get paid to
You know,
serve you, not to be cleaning that up.
my ex-wife had that attitude about a lot of different things. It's just like they get paid to do this, they get paid to do that. So why should I put any extra effort out? And that's not the way I was raised. If you spill something, you get something to clean it up with.
Yeah,
And most of the time, if you make the effort to offer to clean up your own mess, they don't have that big of an issue with it.
I'm one of those people that I don't do it every time, but most of the time I'll clean up, like I'll put all the trash in one pile. I'll put all the dishes like right next to each other on the table and stuff so that whoever's going to bust the table has an easier job to it. I hate when people are just shits to servants. It's crap. And working in a restaurant like I do, I have to hear, the girls and what they go through, the servers. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, however, as you already know, spilled salt dreams can end up as sticky messes, and they make a table and chair unusable. Plus, this means extra work for someone who's already having a pretty crummy day. Good job, restaurant customer. You just became the worst person ever on the planet. I've seen worse. Someone's been naughty. Here we see another example of why customers aren't always right. If you're coming into a shop with an intention to steal, do yourself a favor and don't come. In fact, you'll be doing everyone a favor by not tainting the establishment with your ill intentions.
Right. But it won't bless you if you steal.
What if I rub belly though?
I don't know.
Like,
Wait, isn't the point of these things to bless people? Well, that's blessing us, isn't it? By giving us something, right?
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Like, okay, somebody is giving to the Buddha, right? People give to the Buddha, and then another person comes and takes from the Buddha. I would say that is the natural circle of the blessing. Another person leaves a blessing for someone else. That's what Buddha would want, isn't it?
Sure, but they're talking about stealing Buddha himself.
Oh, he's gone?
He's right there.
Well, they said
my next question is, why does he have to be black?
He's black? I can't see anything. Oh my god.
No, the Buddha's right. The Buddha's right here.
No, there's the black Buddha next to it. He has his
You're
hands
not-
up in the.
Oh dang! I can't even see that thing.
I was just saying, you guys don't see black Buddha?
And he needs to smile so you can see him.
I even have my contacts in and I don't see him.
And then also that little beige, that little white figure, that's not Buddha. Buddha is the giant
That
Big
that is
Valley
Buddha.
bald guy.
Yeah.
No, there's
It's a
different
different
Buddhas.
incarnation of Buddha.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there's thin Buddhas too.
Then Buddha, does he have like a cycling class?
It's
Well,
it's
he has
before he
hair.
got fat. Essentially,
Yeah.
it's
Wait.
Buddha before he found fast food.
Oh my god.
So it said, we know for a fact that the thief was not a Buddhist. So what purpose do you have taking a Buddhist statue home, even if you're not religious? Let's all pray extra hard that this thief gets there, and they spelled thief wrong, gets there just desserts in this world and the next. Okay? No sweaty money, please. We have no idea why people even bother putting money in socks, bras, and anywhere
To
else
keep it
that
safe,
money
duh.
doesn't belong in.
Well, I don't give a fuck if it keeps you safe. Do you understand the biohazard that is coming to me? If you're pulling in through, like, if you're gonna rummage through your boobs and you pull out like a soggy wad of ones or whatever, please keep that. I don't want your money
That's
anymore.
You
let,
give it
let
to
me
me.
explain something. Nomi, that is the least worrisome thing to find on currency. 97% of all U.S. currency in circulation has some measurement of cocaine, blood, and feces on it.
Oh, I believe that 100%.
That's
Yeah.
why you
little
launder it.
armpit sweat's not going to be that big a deal. Just
But
saying.
that's why you legally launder it. Put it in a washing machine. You launder that something. Anyway, and that's why I mostly credit now. But so it says if you don't have a wallet, put your money in your pocket, and if your skirt doesn't come with pockets, don't go out. The last thing anyone wants is to touch your sweat. I can understand. We do not accept money removed from your for underwear or bra. This is not healthy for anyone. Now, I mean, we're laughing, but given Nomi's one of Nomi's careers, I can understand that. Like, if I was working at a bar somewhere, I if I saw somebody pull a 20 out of their freaking underwear, I'd be like, just keep it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So when I used to work at a bank, I think I've shared this story before, but I was very friendly to this one member of ours, and she was super cool. She was very laid back. But there's one time she came in, and she came in with like 2 stacks of ones. And I was like, oh, like I'm very joking. I'm a joking person. I like joke. I was like, dang girl, what corner are you working at? And the next thing she says, she's like, oh, I'm a dancer in this part of town. I was like, oh, okay. That's interesting. And this part of town is like 6 hours away. So usually the
Yeah.
girls from hometown that I'm from drive to places that are 6 hours away so people won't recognize them.
You do
But
understand that the whole stack of cash was probably in her butt crack at some point.
Yep. Yeah.
no, here's the next thing she tells me. She's like, oh no, it's okay, girl. I washed them before I brought here. It's like, and then the next thing she tells me, she's like, oh yeah, like I make $3,000 a night, but I only did one night. I was like, oh, okay, that's nice that you're making money. And then
Shadow's on his way over there.
and then
He's on his
See you,
way
kid.
over there.
See you, kid. Go make white babies.
the next thing she tells me is like she's just telling me all about it, and then I'm just carrying on conversation with her. Is like, yeah, I don't have like ambition or the body or anything to like be that kind of dancer. And the next thing she says, she's like, oh, I can teach you how to clap your ass cheeks. I was like, no, you know what? I'm actually okay with being a teller. Thanks.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's why I do believe like, if you look the dollar bills under a microscope, yes, you're gonna find like more than sweat, cocaine, feces on it, because yes, it's been in girls' booty holes before.
Look, it's
I don't
it's
know
just
if
a
they
matter
put
of
it in
time
the
before
hole.
yeah, it's just a matter of time before they start putting like credit card swipe readers in
Ass
butt
cheeks.
crack
Stripper, you're all like,
strippers. So
Oh,
here,
it's
make
you
it
been
rain,
done.
swipe
baby.
card.
Oh, it's been done. I mean, I've heard of women actually getting barcode tattoos on the inside of their butt crack. In fact, Snoop Dogg was he did a performance on stage and he took out his credit card and actually slid it down one of the dancers' butts. So
This went really weird.
yeah, I said
Like
um, let's see.
messy tables to ass crack money.
See, this is just
Right.
awful. You can tell a lot about a person about how they handle their shopping carts. For the civilized majority, they'll return their shopping carts where they belong before zooming back home before their ice cream melts. But for the entitled minority who can't be darned to do even the tiniest decent thing for anyone else, they do this instead.
Yeah, that's always a dick move.
Yeah.
It is. It's just like straight not somebody didn't pay attention and everybody else just follows suit without thinking.
Like, you don't have to take it all the way back inside the store, but they put those like those like rack places up every 20 feet
Yep.
or so. It's not that difficult to like
I walk
put
it
your
over
cart
there.
at least near that, and not in the fucking spaces where people are trying to park or anything.
That's even handicap space. That's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when I was years ago, when I was working at a convenience store, we used to have this. You know, obviously you'd have your handicap spaces right up front by the door, so it was more convenient for people who had trouble getting around. But there were always assholes who would park in that, and I got into this habit of telling them when they came in. I was like, "Hey, you got a handicap placard for that?" And it was like, "No." And it's like, "Are you handicapped?" Well, no. I was like, "Well, the next time you park there, you'd better be."
Or you're gonna help
Yeah.
them out, right, Sam?
I just
Well, that was
I
the
just
implication. Yes.
I just cut out the middleman and put the shopping cart in my car. Take it home with me.
I want to tell you guys something. There was somebody who was talking to me about society, and they said one of the largest signs that society is going down or decreasing in civility is the shopping cart dilemma, because
Mhm.
it just shows how self-centered people are and how it's getting worse and worse. I think it was Neil who told me that. He said, like, back in his day, which is not that old, he's not that old, but even just 30 years ago, more people left their carts at designated cart areas when they left. But now it's more common to see carts all over the parking lot and in parking spots, in handicap places, in front of people's cars. People leave their cart behind a car that's next to them because they don't feel like even moving it, even to the empty parking spot.
Hmm. Oh
Anyway,
yeah.
See, I'll even straighten the damn row of carts, you know, to make sure that they're all set in there properly. Because, you know, why make things harder on the guy who's got to haul all that shit back in either?
Yep. All right. In mid 2019, some irresponsible individuals decided that it would be funny if they licked ice cream and left them in a store freezer. I remember this. Haha, you pulled a funny, and the lady who first started this unhygienic trend was put in cuffs. She deserved it, and hopefully she was convicted for being a public safety hazard.
Yeah.
Okay.
They need some they need to be more smarter about that, because you're gonna have people who are gonna do stupid shit like that. Even when you have them get arrested, there's still stupid people out there that want to go viral and they see a trend or whatever and they'll do it. Those ice cream companies, they should start putting some I don't know, thing over the ice cream that you have to pull up so you know if somebody's tampered with it.
isn't it a shame though that ice cream companies have to do that for
It is.
humans? We're getting worse and worse. We can't even get shampoo, deodorant, ice cream, razors, or anything without asking for an employee. I went to the makeup section. You can't even get those cheap eyelash things at the stores anymore, the Rite Aid or CVS, because so many people have women come in there stealing, or they're putting them on, using them when it's not theirs, and putting them back.
Yeah. It is absolutely sad. It's one of those things where even though it's sad, it's just our reality. You're going to have people, because of the internet, people doing the stupidest shit to get viral. And so now these companies need to adjust, because you're not going to get the dumbasses to stop doing it. You know, it's
There's
just
always
sad.
Yeah, there's always some asshole who's going around doing something like that, though. I mean, there's a reason you can't go and buy a bunch of boxes of Sudafed anymore. Is because a bunch of tweakers were going in and buying them all up because they were stripping the pseudoephedrine out of it to make meth.
Yep.
Right now, it's not a controlled substance. It's not an over the counter thing. But they were losing so many of them, or they were just being flat out stolen. That now a lot of it's under lock and key, and you've got restrictions on how many you can buy, and you have to provide an ID. Yeah.
You can't even buy for another person. Like I went to get some for my mother, and I was all like, hold on, I have to ask her what how long she wants it to last, because they got 12-hour, they got 24-hour, and stuff. And so I'm like, I want to make sure I get this right. So I called her, and second I picked the phone to call my mom on my cell phone, they said, we can't sell to you now because you admitted you were buying it for someone else. I was all, I'm buying one box. How much freaking meth do you think I'm gonna make? Like, really? But
the way they look at it is, you could have been gone. It could be you and a group, going around to different stores buying them. That's just kind of how they. I used to work at a supermarket, so I know that's how they think.
Well, they scan your ID now, so it would literally, they would be able to see if you were going around and track if you're buying a shit ton of ephedrine.
Yeah, but they don't know if somebody else is like, if there's a group of you, going around doing the same thing. That's what I said. That's how they kind of think.
That's kind of how it's done. I'm not saying from experience or anything, but that's pretty much exactly how it happens.
You damn well know you're saying it by experience.
I know.
Exactly. All right, let me get to this next one. Have you ever encountered a person who thinks too highly of themselves? They're the master of everything, can do nothing wrong, Samuel, and claim to get with anyone that their heart desires, Samuel. Now, we're sure about 1 out of a billion people can do this, Amira. Probably billionaires, but a guy in a hoodie who doesn't tip their waitress certainly doesn't fit the bill. Hope this is better than a tip. Text me sometime.
Damn, dude.
Also, I kind of don't believe that, because that is very girly handwriting for a guy.
Now, I have to ask you this, Nomi. Has this ever happened to you?
No, guys have given me their number, but guys have definitely approached me asking for mine, and then I'd be like, no, I'm not interested. Please leave me alone. There has been plenty of times where they won't leave me alone, and I just go to my bartenders like, hey, Mikey, yeah, I'm getting uncomfortable, and here comes Papa Mikey coming through. He's like, you better get the fuck out of here, you keep bothering her. He's super sweet. But yeah, no, I don't tolerate that. And also, we don't get where I'm from, there's not very much good looking dudes.
There's a wrong way to do this, which is what this is, and there's a right way to do it, which still only has like a fucking 35% success rate, right? The only time I have ever done something like this was at this kind of Mongolian grill restaurant where this really cute Russian exchange student was working. It was something like 15 years ago or some shit like that. And I did leave her my number on the receipt, but I also left her a $50 tip on a $20 ticket.
Holy smokes, Sam. You don't know she was from Australia and she's been with 600 men?
Yeah. Right, but at the time I didn't know about that chick, so
he wants to be 601. That's what that is.
She slept with an emu and then when that slept with you, Sam.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna go in there, you don't say, hey, I'm not gonna leave you a tip, but you should definitely call me. Fucking tip her.
He was kind of hoping to give her another kind of tip, honestly.
All right. Now we'll move on to the next one. Okay, even though we don't think theft is a joke, this one's pretty funny. Even if you haven't played any GTA games, you'll undoubtedly understand this reference. But it's pretty obvious, really, seeing as how they wrote it right on the package.
No, Suka, it did not work. She did not call me.
Grand Theft Auto.
That's just flat out silly. That's just flat out silly.
Somebody who used to work retail, I used to work at Target, and you'd be surprised the shit people try to steal.
I wouldn't.
We caught people trying to steal a butt ton of Hot Wheel cars, a
Dude,
collector, and he had like
Mhm.
8 of them stuffed in his pants.
dude, I worked at Best Buy, and we caught a lady trying to stuff a vacuum cleaner down her pants.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, there's a pretty thriving market for collector's item toys and stuff, specifically Hot Wheels on like eBay and that sort of thing. So like they're stealing something that they could have paid $8 for and then putting it on
Remember
the
Legos?
market for like 200. Yeah.
Remember Legos? They're going crazy for the Legos too.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
still do. Hey, look, this one's for Mira. There are some people whose lives revolve around ruining things for everyone. Like, what goal did you achieve by opening up these nail polish bottles and placing them upside down on the shelf? If this was a part of some kind of challenge, we wouldn't be surprised. But we are disappointed that people
What
would
the hell does that have to do with me?
because of the story you told earlier about the eyelashes. It's just the whole
Oh,
beauty care
sorry.
stuff. So
I thought you were saying I was doing something like
no,
this.
no.
This is just a dick move. This isn't even.
Yeah.
Why would you
And
do this
it's,
to somebody's store?
and it's the clearance stuff too,
And
and that
and
makes it even worse.
and it's a
Yeah,
dick
'cause it's
move
cheap.
because it's like if you do this with some bottle of freaking soap or something, it's a pain in the ass to clean up, whatever. But nail polish, you have to
It's
sit there and use
pathetic.
nail polish remover and fucking scrape those things to get
Yep.
every drop of that off. It is
Acid
Yeah,
a
and the
huge
cheaper it
pain.
is, the more it sticks, and it's like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah, everything on the shelf was drenched. Oh wow! So drenched everything underneath it. That's messed up. Let's see. However, it's not every time a customer acts out because they're rotten to the core. This customer felt cheated out of 83 cents in change and decided that their waiter didn't deserve a bigger tip. You could argue that 83 cents is hardly anything, but it's the principle that counts. If you lose 83 cents every time you shop or dine out, how much would you lose over a year?
I mean, this is Cartman level behavior. If y'all haven't seen it, there's an episode of South Park called Scott Tenorman Must Die, where Cartman gets ripped off for like $16 or whatever, and he starts this whole campaign, and eventually he has Scott Tenorman's parents killed, chopped up, turned into chili, and he feeds them to their son.
And then he licks his tears. It's
All over like $16 and like 13 cents or whatever.
That's crazy. See, anyone who ever spent a shift in a retail store has seen the worst that mankind has to offer. Me and Devil, you might encounter an angel or two every week or so, but for the most part, you're dealing with jerks who behave like animals just because. They'll leave huge messes in their wake without considering how long it takes to clean the mess up. Dang,
oh yeah.
that's
Yeah.
messed up, and I've seen that too.
I saw it last week at 2 places. At
Did you?
Ross and at Burlington Coat Factory. My favorite place in the world is Ross. And then Burlington Coat Factory. The shoe area is always like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because people, the word got out about Ross, and they found out that the stuff in there is it's not knockoffs. You know, you know. See, defrost your chick. What's up, Devil?
Well, the shoes are especially that way because you have not only do they never seem to fit back in the box once you take them out to try them on, but also they stuff all that shit in there. So yeah, you'll have people just throw all that stuff on the ground. They'll never put all the paper and the cardboard, to keep the front of the shoe intact, not crushed. All that stuff, they just throw that on the ground, man.
Yeah, it sucks. See, it's common to find out of place items at the supermarkets. After all, the shopper might have changed their mind about a product in their shopping cart. Although the nice thing to do would be to return the product to its original place, that might be asking too much. Chicken defrosting over everything. I've seen this.
Jesus Christ.
I've seen this.
Wait,
They're
I
trying
can't
to
see
make people sick.
what am I
So
looking
right
at?
here, they
That's
they took a chicken back, and instead of taking it back, putting it back, in the aisle with where the chicken and everything goes. They just stuffed it in a random aisle, and now the
To
frozen
defrost.
chicken,
Yeah, you
it's
can see the pink
defrosted.
on the ground. If you
Oh,
look on the
now I
ground, you can
see
see the pink liquid.
Yeah.
That's blood. Yep.
Yeah,
blood. Who would do such a thing? Are you
somebody
stupid?
lazy.
Yeah, they have to
Somebody
throw
lazy.
away everything on that shelf essentially.
Yep.
That's not even being lazy because look, oh my god, there's refrigerators everywhere in markets.
Yeah. I understand. I don't do it, but I understand like a person who doesn't want to walk 7 aisles over to put a box of something back. Okay, fine, but don't do it with something like chicken, Jesus, or
Yeah,
something. It's something they have to throw away. Even
You can
it,
give it to the cashier and they will
yeah,
take it.
and they'll take it back.
yeah.
But you just have some people that just, like I said, I worked in a supermarket, and nothing annoyed us more than that. Let's see. So why we dine out? There's one thing that annoys us to a no end: those who shop or dine out when they're on a tight budget. It's fine to splurge once or twice a month, but if you're squeezing every penny, you should stick to your budget a little better. This wouldn't be a problem if restaurants and bars paid their staff a livable wage. I bet Nomi will agree with that, but that's a completely different story. I would, but I'm on a budget.
I mean, yeah. If you're on a
If you
budget,
can't,
don't go to some place you got a tip.
yeah, if you can't afford the tip on a $5 bill, then you should not be going out of your house, man.
Well,
No, I
Holy
disagree.
crap!
I
also
disagree.
thinking about it too, like you're paying $5 on a card. Do you realize you're paying more into like your credit card, like the restaurant or whatever? We're not getting any profit on that $5 because that's going to
No,
go to credit card services.
yeah,
That's not the point. The point is he paid the cost of whatever he bought. I don't believe that tipping has to be mandatory. You're not entitled to extra money. Now, if he was able to pay and he didn't, then he's being a jerk. But he paid the price of the sir or whatever it was. That's enough. At least he paid.
I'd have to agree with that actually for the most part. Uh,
It-
while it's a dick move, it's not
yeah.
like it's
And
I
it's
kind of get it.
it
it's a
also
$5, so I'd have thrown him $1. But you're right. Also, is because when tips first came into popularity, it was because those servers and stuff like that were being paid less than the other staff. Like if in the old days you would have any server would probably make about half, maybe quarter what the kitchen staff would be making. Now, because of minimum wage laws, the servers make the same amount as us, but they also get tips. So
Tips were never made to
Yeah.
compensate for your employer not paying you. They were never made for that. Tips was
But
just
that's-
a gratuity to people doing a service, and it was something that is supposed to be optional. It's something that you do when a service is spectacular. If a person gives extra service to you, now
Nomi.
we have people expecting money. They expect you to give you extra money just for doing their job, and
Well,
I
see-
don't agree with that.
And see, here's the thing too. Like, okay, like if I walk into Nomi's bar, right now, of course, first of all, if I can't afford a tip, I'm not going in there. But I'm not because if Nomi or somebody else, her coworkers are serving me, of course I'm going to tip them because I know that I'm going to get outstanding service. That's great. But what I've noticed is that these receipts, I've gone to stores where nobody served me. I served myself. And when this receipt came out, it had the tip option on it with them looking at me like I should be tipping them. And I was like, none of you did anything for me. I literally did everything myself. So if I put a tip, I should be tipping myself. So I noticed a lot of stores are doing that, or will even, okay, I'll put an example. There's a pizza place that delivers nearby where I live. My wife and I recently found out the pizza place they hit you with a if you pay a tip. We thought the tips were going to the drivers. We found out they're not. We found out that they don't give the drivers any of the tip money, so the owners actually keep the tips and the drivers aren't getting any of it.
That's actually illegal. plain out. It's actually illegal for business owners to keep tips given to their employees.
Yeah. The bar that I still work at. Um, our GM, our general manager, did send out a message to all of us in a group chat saying like, "Hey guys, so we are not keeping track on the butter knives or the knives that we give for cutlery when we're serving our food. So if this continues, if no one's checking baskets or no one's checking the trash of the butter knives, I'm gonna be withholding tips, and the tips will be going to buy new cutlery." It's like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you have overhead budget to purchase items like that for the restaurant and the bar.
Hmm.
So
Right.
yeah, because that is our hard-earned money that we worked for a 6-hour shift or whatever. Like being friendly and giving great customer service. You cannot, if I made $200, you're not taking that $200 in tips for cutlery.
Well,
Yeah.
and also there's a lot of entitlement going on too right now. I mean, can we? I wanted to go talk to you guys about this really quickly because I know this isn't what it's supposed to be about. I know the whole stream is not about this, guys, but this is a serious subject that I think needs to be spoken about between everybody, because although I still tip, just today I ordered pizza. I gave the driver $20 tip on a $20 pizza. Whatever. He was happy. But I do that because, I felt like it and he was here really fast. I give tips for extraordinary service, not for mediocre or under par service. I
Mhm.
don't. And the thing is, you can get mad at me and say, "Well, they're entitled to it." No, they're not entitled to my extra money for doing their job. It is not my job or the society's job to compensate for the employer not paying their employees correctly. We need to demand that employers pay their people correctly. I lived in Middle East, I lived in Europe and South America. You guys do not see this. If you try to tip somebody, they're offended.
Yep.
They're
Yeah, they
offended.
are.
They'll spit on you because they'll say, "What, you think I don't work for my money? You
Yep.
think I need handouts? You think I need what, a charity?" They are offended. But in America, they want that extra $2, $3. That $2, $3 to them is like a sign of them getting a sticker at the end of the day for doing a good job.
You know, I've never worked jobs where tipping was expected. The ones I've always had have either it just never came up, or like the current gig that I've got with the government, it's considered a gratuity and possibly bribery, so it's actually illegal for us to take any money like that. Um, but in terms of like actually giving tips, like I'm with Amir on this. So I order out for food. I do it fairly frequently because I don't cook, right? So when I order food out, when they bring me, a piping hot meal right to my door, they do it in good time. It's everything I asked for. I tip extra. And the reason I do that is not just because I'm appreciative, but because that guarantees that that particular delivery driver is going to want to come back and give me excellent service again.
Right. Right. It's an investment. But no,
Mhm.
Amir, I mean that goes with the whole topic of what we're talking about. And that's exactly why I tip. And you know what? I did what Samuel did. I did the same thing what was it, last week? I had excellent service at a restaurant that I was at in Detroit. I gave the lady a $50 tip. The next time I came back there, she remembered, she went above and beyond. She she stopped what she was doing and came and thanked me. Not because she was hoping to get another $50 tip, but I didn't know that up until that point, nobody had tipped her all day. In fact, she had just gotten through getting cussed out by some lady that had her kid, and the not only did the lady not order anything, but she let her kid open up the salt and pepper shakers and spill them all over the table on purpose so that that waitress would have to clean it up. And then she ran out before that lady could get her hands on her.
Mhm.
But Larry, tipping was created to encourage people to work hard and to do well. Now it's turned into people are not encouraged to work well and still expect tip. It's turned into a I deserve it no matter what, and I'm still going to do just mediocre or even less than mediocre work, and I still deserve. It's turned into a thing of I deserve. And that's not right. You deserve to get paid for your job. You do not deserve extra money on top of doing your job because I'm supposed to compensate for your employer. No.
It's that's the thing is it's not compensating anymore because that by law they have to pay them a good wage, unlike like I said like in the past. But it's become expected. It's become this idea that you're expected to give a gratuity when that's not the case. Like you
Yeah.
said, it should be based on good service. If you give me good service, I'll give you a tip. If you're gonna come to the table with a sour attitude, treat me like shit, not refill my drink at all, freaking bring my food out cold, yeah, you're not gonna get any extra money from me. I don't care if you need gas money. That's on you. You
I
know.
actually tip more if they leave me the fuck alone while I'm eating.
But you don't like people, so that's
No, I don't. And I don't like to be bothered every 3 minutes with, hey, is everything okay? Can I refill that soda for you? Would you
While
like to
you're
look
in
at
the
the dessert
middle
menu?
of
No, I
chewing.
want to eat.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
yeah.
I hate that when they come in the middle of chewing. I'm in the middle of having my mouth stuffed, and now I'm like, "It's good, thank you."
Yeah, if my cup is empty, just refill it. I don't need it. If my mouth's full of food, I don't need to
Hey,
freaking
we're
chew
saying
for
all this.
10 minutes
We're
to
saying
tell
all
you,
this
yeah,
stuff.
go and refill it.
We're saying all this, and then we've got somebody on the panel whose job it is to do exactly that. Poor Nomi.
It's I mean,
Answer for your peoples.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. I've mastered the art of like, all right, I'm gonna look at them because they already have their food. It's been like 5 minutes since I've dropped it off. Oh, they're eating, they're enjoying it. All right, cool. Their drinks are still full. All right, just move on. And then maybe like 10 minutes if they're still like chilling and slowly drinking, I'll be like, everybody okay? I don't even go to the full table. I just kind of like shout from a distance, do a thumbs up, like, you guys okay? Oh, no, you need a refill? All right, on it. And then that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
We should have like a thumbs up system so we don't have to interact. Just say, everybody thumbs up. Good. Okay. Awesome.
All right, moving on. Let's see. Here's another example of a restaurant mishap that might not have been the customer's fault. If we're to believe the story, the restaurant posts ridiculous messages that is patrons leave. One diner felt that throwing poultry at someone in improper communication etiquette. If you ask us, we agree with this 100%.
He
I wish
wanted to
that
make the chicken fly again. Sorry.
I wish it didn't have to end like this, but throwing a chicken at someone is not acceptable way of communication.
To be fair, in the kitchen, I have thrown a chicken wing at one of the other employees. It was for fun. It wasn't to be a dick. We were just being dicks, and I was all like, "Oh yeah," and I took a wing and flicked it at him.
Let's see. Take a look at the picture below, and tell us whether this is normal. If you don't understand what's going on, this lady shopper is ripping off the bad leaves of every lettuce head and tossing them to the ground. You can bet that neither she nor her male partner is going to clean that up for themselves. You can tell they're old.
Yeah.
They look like they're old.
Well,
It's-
in
as-
Asian
as a-
markets,
Yeah, as a-
you can do that.
right.
How much
As a retailer, they're gonna end up costing that store
Yeah.
money too, because aren't heads of lettuce sold by weight?
No, no.
Yeah,
Usually there's just.
some places are. Some
Oh, are they?
places.
Yeah, no, I've never had to pay by weight. But you want to leave those leaves on because they go bad from the temperature, the low temperature. Usually they keep them at. So those are actually protecting the leaves
protecting
underneath
the others,
and
yeah.
keeping them crisp. Yeah, the second you take those off, then the leaves that you've just exposed start to wilt and become the same as the ones you just threw on the ground.
Good point.
Mhm.
Good point, Devil.
Yeah, so they weren't helping. Yeah, I'm gonna skip past the spitball one. Let's see. As you get older in life, you start to realize how great it would be if you could use Monopoly money in real life when you need a bit of extra cash. But obviously, Monopoly is just a game, and no one can use fake money to buy anything. That's messed up. I think that
Oh,
is
man.
yeah, that's it for this one. So sorry about that. That went a little longer than I anticipated. I
I loved
wanted
it.
I wanted to show Amir. I wanted to show you this. You've probably seen it, but I figured before we get to the regular freakouts, I'm willing to bet that you've probably seen this.
Let me
Hold on.
see it. Let's see.
Doot, doot. Doo, 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 doo. So I remember this lady was tripping, dude. Here you go.
Y'all can shake a piece of shit motherfucking hand and say
Hey,
congratulations.
ma'am, if you go off like that, you can be held in contempt of court and go to jail. Do you want to do that,
Just proceed to the fucking court hearing and shut up.
ma'am?
Oh dear Christ.
God.
Dumb bitch.
More vulgarity, and you will be going to jail. You understand?
Good luck.
What, ma'am?
I said good luck. Finish court.
This is why I said Zoom court has turned court into this. It's turned court into an absolute circus, and it diminishes the power of the courts. And I told you, Zoom court should not exist now. It should only exist for those who are handicapped or what have you. But you get this. Okay, I'll stop.
No. Go ahead. That's why I showed it. Exactly what you're doing right now. Exactly why I showed it to you. Go ahead.
You already knew this was gonna happen. As soon as you show me this crap, you already know what I'm gonna do. I'll just let me watch it first, and then
Well, I mean, it's broken up into different. There's a full video on this. I've seen this before, but we would have to do a whole show on this because it's on TikTok. It's broken into parts, and they're like 4 minutes a piece. But this lady was just going. She ended up getting a warrant for her arrest put out.
oh well, she had better. And I know that attorney below her. That's an attorney below her.
Yeah.
But
What,
anyway.
with McLovin?
Yeah, McLovin, exactly. But
Yeah,
but
that's
but
definitely
the show.
Go ahead, Mr. Sackrider.
I'm sorry, what?
How are you
Sackrider?
supporting yourself?
His name is Sackrider.
Go ahead, Mr. Sackrider.
I didn't remember his name being Sackrider, but okay.
How are you supporting yourself prior to February 16th of 2023?
Odds and end jobs. Like I said, I've been unemployed. Just this and that, what I can get by.
All right. When was the last time you were employed?
Before fall.
Before fall of 2022?
Yes.
And what were you doing then?
I was working subcontracting to a construction company, and I was terminated.
Okay.
I had not had time to be placed on payroll before I was terminated.
Okay. And so you've been homeless since that time?
On and off, yes.
Where do you stay mostly?
I was staying with my parents, but because of the ongoing charges, I have a no contact order with them.
Okay. Do you struggle with substance abuse?
No,
You
I have in the
struggle.
past, but not currently.
Look at her. She's not
Okay.
even paying attention.
No, she looks like she's rocking.
Yes, she
What
is.
is what's your highest level of education achieved?
10th,
Are you willing to pursue a GED?
eventually, once I get things in order.
Okay. And what can we tell this court that your plan is to meet these obligations if you were to be released from jail?
I have court on the 31st. I'm supposed to be placed on probation, which I will be required to gain employment, which upon gaining employment, I will be able to start making payments on my child support as required. I mean, besides that, there's really nothing else I could say.
All right. Would you be willing to participate with Miss Wills in the LEAP program?
Yes,
All right. So you would be willing to work with a temp agency and find employment and set up income withholding?
yes.
Okay.
Come on, attorney.
So even though it
So is this-
is there, it's a whole like it's split up into parts.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause
Anything
that's
further,
not
Miss Lang, this
it's
afternoon?
not like a dude who was really trying to, get his shit together aside from the chick who was bitching at the beginning of it.
Yeah, there's another one of a judge just going off on this lady. But yeah, I
On which
wanted to.
lady? On the
Hmm?
one that we just saw?
No, it's a separate one. I didn't copy and paste it. I'm gonna I know Sam hates it when we show these things, but I want to get the clips together so that he doesn't fall asleep and fall out of his chair. But I'd like to do like a public freak out, legal series of just the craziest stuff that people do in court. I mean, just a few times that I've been live in court, I've seen stuff happen. I'm just like, how in the hell, how are you not in
I
prison?
would I would love to analyze court hearings with you all and give you guys maybe my point of view on it, because I guess from being in the courts a lot, you know.
That's fine with me. Let's see. You guys, I guess pick a
The
woman.
fat
This
lady
one?
with no, the other one.
This one?
That one, yeah, with the bug glasses.
After a short argument at what looks to be the DMV, this woman here starts berating what she calls a rent-a-cop because he's trying to actually mitigate the situation. Take a look.
You need to go home. Look at that out of shape ass. Look what you got on.
Hey, bro, you gotta get you. Both of you, stop talking now. Stop talking now.
Look, I don't really know what happened. I don't really care what happened. You don't see this way.
Listen. Bye. Bye.
Man,
Bye.
I'll take you on my property right now.
This is not your
I know me. Bye.
I'm
Bye. I understand my rights. I know them. Don't try me.
That's right.
The shoes.
Okay?
The shoes.
Okay? Leave me alone. Go talk to the hood rats.
That's not how that works.
Go speak to the hood rats.
That's not how that
He's
works.
talking to you.
The hood rats. That is how it works. Go
Ma'am,
speak to the hood
I'm
rats.
being
Get
very
them in
polite.
order.
I'm being very polite.
And I am too.
Okay.
As polite as I can be right now. Don't
Pause.
That attack my husband.
Pause. Do you guys remember we just got finished talking about men not being able to control their women and the trouble that men get into because of women being like this? Women having the testosterone of men, but not having the balls and the fighting power of men. So actual men have to fight because their woman had a mouth.
Yep.
Look at her. I want you guys to analyze this woman really quickly. This woman came outside in sweatpants. It looked like she rolled out of bed and put on these fur things. Looks like caterpillars, giant caterpillars on her legs, and she's wearing, it looks like combat boots or something underneath. She has on a sloppy t-shirt that's stretched out at the neck, a army green cardigan, and she has on those bug eye glasses covering up the fact that she's not wearing any makeup because she's probably insecure, and she has the hood on her head. All of this aggression with her hand in that form. Do you see how her hand is sitting there with the index finger out? That's an aggressive stance. That's a stance of I got a problem and I need to tell you about it. Okay, I'm finished.
No, I mean that's back in the day. It's what we called ghetto fabulous.
What I'm saying is,
What are you trying to say, sir?
I just need you guys separated right now. That's all I'm saying. So if you can keep your distance from them.
I don't need to be around him raggedy mother.
We're never gonna be around. All right, cool.
We are elites.
I don't
You
know.
have me.
They need some money. If they do that to me, I said I will hit them.
That man put his hands. That's assault. You didn't put no cuss on him.
One of her boobs
Right
is
there. He put his hands.
her boobs are lopsided. Do you guys see? One boob is higher. Do you guys see what I'm talking about?
I noticed, but I wasn't gonna say anything.
So this bad-bodied woman, look at her crotch area. Oh boy. Okay. So
Why would I want to do that?
well, Samael, listen, I know you were already looking. So this bad-bodied woman who this bad-bodied woman, okay, with one boob hanging and one boob kind of perky. And the thing is, I don't think she's wearing a bra either. So she came out looking like this, and then she embarrasses the man that she's with, who I'm assuming is her boyfriend or husband. I think there's a ring on her finger, so husband. So she's embarrassing her husband by even coming out of the house looking like this, and then you draw more attention to yourself by causing a public disturbance. She probably saw Nomi the night before, and that's the reason why she's probably hungover. Nomi probably is the one responsible for this.
Nomi served her.
Yeah, that's
do
why she's
have
hungover.
We do have a limit of over serving.
Well, and judging by the way she's dressed, Nomi, we could tell you didn't get a tip.
Well,
You could probably give her one though. Don't drink. In fact, don't leave your house looking like that. In fact, just don't leave
Seriously,
your
and
house.
her shirt and her top is dirty. You can see at the top there's food stains, oil stains, and everything. No, where was that? Was that like a DMV or something?
Hell no, that was like I think
After
it was
a
at a
short
Walmart.
argument at-
Oh yeah, the DMV. She was at the DMV acting like that.
Oh my god.
That's the worst possible place to act like that shit. The people who run the DMV are demonic. And I don't
They
use
don't
that word
care.
lightly, as y'all
Yeah,
know.
they don't care. And
No, Samuel.
typically there are sheriff's deputies in there watching everything.
That's right. Because it's government. It's government place. The DMV is the most government establishment you can ever go to.
Okay. You guys got any ideas of a
Look at Suka. Suka said he better run. He better run.
Let's see.
Oh, Skip. So
IHOP.
he's like, she motivated me to work out in the morning. No,
Costco.
you don't have any. You don't have any. Like either political or cheating. Oh, cheating. You know the cheaters when the cheaters public freak
cheaters?
out. Yeah,
I did.
cheating.
I just looked up freak outs in particular, but I'll add that to the list. I'll
The
add that.
cheaters. The cheaters ones are always good, Larry.
Yeah, I'll add that. I'll add that to the list for the next one. Colin Film realizes he was wrong about and doubles down. Oh,
Oh, really? Let's see that one. Let's see. Let's see.
What are you doing? Okay.
Oh, look at that car.
Okay.
I let you way back.
What do you mean why am I rolling? I didn't see you till I was right here on this street, and I kept going because there's no place to pull over. I pulled over when it got open.
I let you way back there.
Where?
man.
Where at?
At the beginning of Moon Lane.
At the beginning of Moon Lane. Yeah, that's what I just said. Whenever I turned off, I saw
He
you.
is hyped up. You see how the sheriff is hyped up?
Mhm.
Stay in the vehicle.
Okay. Will you shut this door? What are you doing?
About,
For what?
about,
What's the reason?
about, man.
What's the reason? Can you tell me what the reason is? You come up here and you pull your me
He
and
was
then you rip
reaching.
my door open for no reason.
Step out of the vehicle.
What's your reason for pulling my door open?
Please step out.
What's the reason for pulling the door open?
It's an older truck, man.
So you just ripped my door open because it's an older truck?
And you're rolling. People who roll have warrants.
I haven't
They
rolled
have
anything.
pot all over their pants.
I don't have
Smells
any.
like vehicle.
This
Whoa.
is. Okay, sounds good.
Put your hands up on the vehicle.
For what?
Hands up on the vehicle, please. I'm just gonna frisk
You're
you.
not gonna frisk. What am I under
Put your
arrest
hands
for?
up on the
What am I
vehicle.
under arrest for?
I'm frisking you for weapons, Bubba.
Okay.
I'm not putting you in handcuffs.
I don't have no weapons.
Regular
Not Bub.
You're gonna touch all up on me whenever. Yeah. Look at this boy. Look at this boy. He's getting all up on it.
You know what?
Stay back here, man.
So what's the reason for the search?
he looks like
Usually-
Shadow.
Usually I'm all about backing the blue, but I think this might be one of the times where I think the blue was a little bit hyped up for no reason.
Unfortunately, that's been a reoccurring problem in parts of Texas. I've been while I was out there, I was noticing that some of them just
What's the
don't know.
probable cause?
Here's my class, man, being too short.
So you ripped my door open and frisked all up and opened my truck up for my mud flaps for being too short? Is
Yeah,
what you're
once.
saying? Is that what you're saying? Yes or no?
Tell me
that
what
what
to
you're saying,
speak
yes
to
or
his supervisor.
exactly.
Yes,
Yes.
or no?
2729 Texas deal.
What's your name and badge number?
Robertson 8848.
Robertson. What'd you say? 48?
55. 5164. In the blind.
You said 4.8?
Yes, sir.
So you pulled me over. What was the reason for the stop? So my mud flaps were too short. We go down Moon Lane. There's barely enough room for 2 cars to pass by. So I come up here to where it clears
That's a
up.
fix-it
I pull
ticket.
over, and you come over here and rip my door open, and then start
Mud
beating
flaps
me
being
to
too
death,
short,
and
that's
I
a fix-it
flop all
ticket.
over
That's not even, you wouldn't even be able to do what he did.
because I've been cutting all day. You see it
Exactly.
all up on me.
Also, plot on your edge of your seat, man.
There's plot on the edge of my seat.
Come here. Do not go back in the car.
I want to see all this. Yeah, for sure. But again, you rolled up on me and ripped my door open because my mud flaps were too short.
Yes, sir.
So that's normal procedure for you to just run up and rip doors open because the mud flaps are too short.
Car rolling, man.
I wasn't rolling. I got to a place where I could pull over so that people weren't stuck getting in and out.
People who roll have.
I wasn't rolling, doing anything. I was sitting there calmly cruising.
They're not too any good, man.
So I'm automatically bad because I didn't want to block the drive.
That's a 30-year-old shadow.
All right, Mr. Schultz. Let's start over.
No, we're not starting over. You came up on me, ripped my door open, and pulled your.
Show me a unit. I'm gonna please search.
What's your probable
You can't
cause?
search. You have no freaking probable cause
you
to
ripped
search
the
his
door
truck.
open and there was odor.
You found nothing
before or
on him.
after You ripped the door open.
Did he just
'Cause
take
you
his
rolled
driver's
up on me
license?
with a gun drawn and
Yeah,
ripped the door
he
open.
put
He
it in
just
his thing.
pocketed it.
Is what you did, yes or no? Yes.
It's all been recorded. If you want to copy,
You didn't start your body cam until after you ripped your door open. I watched you. You started it right when I handed you my license. Right. Yes or no? Yes or no?
No, he.
So what are we here for now?
I'm gonna be on probable cause search.
For what was your probable cause? Because my mud flaps were too short. But there was no odor until after you ripped my door open or before?
It doesn't matter. You were rolling the window down anyway.
I didn't roll this window down. Not at all. I rolled that side down. See how it's down?
BTK is right.
He ran over here and ripped this door open and had his going on me.
Yeah, he knows
This is
he's
what
wrong.
happened.
He just doubled
Right.
down on it.
Yeah.
So where's your probable cause at? Before or after you ripped the door open?
I opened up the door and it was coming from the car as well.
What car?
This pickup.
So it was coming from. So with
The only way you would
window up,
have smell
there was
is if
odor
you
of
literally had
coming
him
out?
smoking
Is
in
that
the
what you're going
car.
with?
Did you see anything that indicated smoking? Was he holding a pipe? Was there a pipe present somewhere? You can't just freaking open the car and just say, "Oh, I think I can search." You can't. Sorry.
I saw nothing.
Yeah.
Well, wait, hold on 1 second before you continue. It is true that officers can do that. If they smell an odor of drugs or intoxicants, they are legally allowed to then
But
use
they
that as
have
probable cause.
But they have to prove it. They can't because then they could just say it. They could just always say, "Oh, I smell
They
something."
do.
I didn't.
They
That's
do.
the thing, they do. They often do that. They take advantage of them being able to do that. That law.
Any
that says
lawyer
that
would
probable
tear that
cause.
down and get it thrown out. You have to have something you can sit there and say there's a smell and you can question them. But to just sit there, it's like officer walked up to your house and said, "I could have sworn I heard somebody say help," and so I went into their house and started searching through rooms. No, it would any lawyer would be able to go at him with that.
Well, what they do after that
Well, that's
too
not
is
the
that
same thing.
it's a bit different.
Your car's just like your house, essentially. It is your property.
But there's
Well,
there's certain things that they can do if it's your car, because what they'll do is they'll say, "Yeah, I smell something," and they'll be lying, and then they'll call a canine. And I've even read stories where they'll jiggle the dog a certain way to try to get it to react as if there's drugs.
That's
And then
right.
they'll say, "Oh, he had drugs," and then they'll plant the drugs in their car. So it's like they say, "Yeah, I smell alcohol or something," just to get you out of the car. And like you said, yeah, eventually, if you get a ticket or whatever, you could prove it in a court of law. But in the meantime, you got to deal with what they're doing to you, because arguing with a cop that's dead set on nailing you with something, arguing with them on the side of the road is not going to get you anywhere. And the more
No,
you talk, you're just giving them ammunition.
I
Well, I
agree
want
that
to
you
respond
can't.
to Devil. I want to respond to Devil really quickly before you guys get on to. Devil said that your car is kind of like your house. The difference between a car and a home is that when you're on the roads, you are considered to be in public, and as the road is paid for or owned by the public or the state, because you are driving on the public roads, you are at the mercy of the state, because when you get your driver's license, when you sign off on your driver's license, there are certain agreements that you agree to when you sign off to those things, basically saying that I agree to present my driver's license, I agree to obey the laws, I agree to obey police if I get pulled over. And police do take advantage of that, Devil. Just like you said, they could just say that they smell something. They do. They often do that. But the thing is, because they're officers, they're given a certain amount of leeway to do those certain things under suspicions, because that's part of them doing investigations. Him taking advantage of that law and saying, I smelled something, is a complete overstep of his authority. And they do get sued often because of that. Because if they have on their body camera, you fight that in court and you get paid.
Yeah, and nowadays if his body camera is off, that also makes him suspect. But but you still have your knuckleheads that'll still do stuff like this.
I agree that there are certain things that you, by being on a public road and stuff, you do, like presenting your ID. Yes, you do. If the officer asks for your identification, you have to provide it. But what I'm saying is, you're still your property, your car. They can't just go in your trunk. They can't just say, I want to see inside your trunk. They don't get that option. With the smell, the thing is if they say, I smell pot, and then they use that as a provocation to search your car, and they find no drugs in your car, like you said, that opens them up to a lawsuit. That's the
It
thing.
becomes constitutional at that point.
Yeah, they can't overstep and violate your right to, just like they couldn't in your home. You still have the right to sit there and say, you cannot search my car without thing. In that case, what I should have done is said, look, you want to search my car, I want to see your supervisor. I want your supervisor to come down here, and then I will tell him exactly what you've been doing. Your bullshit saying there's pot on my leg when it's white paint and shit like that. And he can look through the footage because I've been recording you this whole time.
That gets them in trouble, and that's the proper way to do it. You get them in trouble, you fight it through the courts and through the supervisors, if the supervisor even, because most supervisors take up for their officers. I don't know if you've noticed that, but most of them will stand by their officers no matter what.
Oh yeah, they close ranks.
Yeah. And that's the problem. So usually the people have to fight it in court. I've seen this happen so many times, Devil, but this is something that is completely allowed because of that leniency or that leeway that officers are given because of their investigation.
Yeah, so it's murky, because Devil's right. The vehicle and what's inside the vehicle is your property. And in order to search that, they have to use probable cause, which is a loophole that allows them to get around the illegal search and seizure part of the Fourth Amendment. However, if this is the reason that tinted windows are illegal in a lot of places, is because you can't just see into cars. If a cop sees something right through the window, and they can do this with your house too. If they look through the window and they see something that's suspicious, that's enough for probable cause. It's kind of silly how it works out, and it is murky as hell, and it is kind of hard to
gray area.
Figure out where that line is. But like, yeah, with the whole trunk thing, like, if they pull you over for a broken taillight, they don't get to say, hey, pop your trunk, I want to see inside that, if they don't have good reason to suspect that you have like a body in there or something.
I have one more thing for Devil. There are, that there's 2 degrees of a search, right? There is a cursory search wherein it's like there's no weapons, there's no imminent danger search.
Mhm.
And then there's a full on cavity search, like, deep search. Now, let's say, Devil, you're at your house. Can we take off the video so I can see Devil? Do you mind? I mean, I don't know if we're finished with it.
Yeah.
But Devil, so let's say you're at your home, right? You were talking about the difference between a home and your car. If you're in your home and you open the door to your home and the officer smells the aroma of narcotics coming from your home, legally, because they smelt that, they are allowed to tell all the occupants of the home to come out of the home, to remove them from the home, but they cannot go in the home. All they can do is tell everyone to come out, and then they can call and ask for a search warrant because they have the probable cause of saying, I know that there are illegal narcotics in there. I smelt them. When the person opened their door, I smelt the aroma of illegal narcotics. I would like a search warrant. And a judge would sign off on that warrant remotely. And then they would be able to enter that home because of that probable cause. Same thing with your vehicle. Essentially, but with the vehicle, it's less of a process and more of a if this happens, then this happens. If that happens, then I can do this, instead of having to call the judge for search warrants. So in the case of your vehicle, they remove you from the vehicle, just like if they smelt the odor of top. That's what that officer just did. You saw how he took him out of the car, but legally he wasn't allowed to get in there and search yet.
The thing is that really pisses me off is it would be simple enough once you get his supervisor there to sit there, because you can see how fake his whole argument is. First he says he saw pot on his leg. There was no pot on his leg. He said, I saw pot on your seat. Well, okay, point it out to me. He won't let him approach the truck, so if his supervisor comes there, he can't sit there and say he moved it. We saw he never approached that side of the truck, his truck. So then he's going to go to the smell. Well, if you have to keep moving the goalpost, if you have to keep coming up with different bullshit, if you would have said smell right off the bat, then you might have had a case there to search. But his supervisor should be able to sit there and I'm coming from the point that I have family members that are in law enforcement. I still don't trust fucking cops. I'm sorry. I've had too much of times of fucking this bullshit. I'm not saying that all cops are bad. I would never say that. Generalizations are usually bullshit. But this idea that this guy's just going to keep moving the goalpost. Oh, I smelt it. And then once you prove that you didn't smell it, what are you going to go to then? You know? It just
Doesn't it,
is.
it seems so bad when we actually think about it as citizens, that there is that slippery slope that can be. And you know what? That's another thing that cops know. They know that if they really want to search our property, they can do it whenever they want to. And all we can do is fight them later in court. But at that very moment, we're powerless against the officers, because we are just a defendant at that point saying I'm innocent, when even the guilty said that they're innocent. So I understand what you're saying, and this is part of the reason why I hate that idea that you can just smell something and then they just call the dogs, and every time they call the dog always happens to smell something. You know, I haven't really seen a case where the dog didn't smell anything. You know, I just
Hence what I said earlier. They'll jerk the dog because I've known a lot of police officers. My uncle's a retired police captain, and there's little ways that they'll move the dog to get the dog to react as if you do have the drugs. And sometimes when by the time they've done that, those cops might even have drugs on them that they can plant in your car. But that's why it's important nowadays to record and do all this stuff. And even
cameras
yeah,
everywhere.
even when they try to do that, it doesn't mean that it's gonna hold up in court. But as Amira would tell you, the only thing you can do at that time is observe your right to be remain silent and just say, hey, I'm not, I have nothing to say without an attorney present, because they're gonna pretend to be nice. They're gonna try to do whatever, and if they screwed up and they know they've screwed up, now they're gonna start inventing stuff. So like I say, if God forbid it happens, but a cop pulls me over and says, "Well, I smell pot in his car, and we found his drugs on him," and they ask me, I'll be like, "Okay, well then let me pull in all these witnesses, ask them, do I even know where to even get that stuff?"
Well, you'll
Oh,
get
and by,
paid.
huh?
They get paid. People who are innocent get paid, Devil
Yep.
and Larry. Another thing, I just got pulled over 2 months ago, and the officer said I smell like alcohol. And you guys know I haven't had a drink in my life. And I said, I smell like alcohol. He said, yeah, I smell alcohol in here. I said, huh, that's strange, because I don't drink. And he said, oh, do you mind stepping outside and doing a few field tests? And I said, no, I'm not going to do the monkey show. I said, but if you want to give me a breathalyzer, I'll take one. And he did. And I did the breathalyzer. And of course, I blew -000, because obviously I don't drink. And he said, oh, I apologize. And he let me go, even though I deserved a speeding ticket of 100 miles per hour. But I didn't even get a speeding ticket because he knew he was wrong by alleging that I smell like alcohol when, and that's one of the things, Devil, it's funny that you bring it up, because it made me think about that. I was accused, and I was made to get outside of my vehicle to do these monkey show tests, stand on one foot and all this. I'm not doing any of that. You can
You know,
test breathalyzer.
Yeah, and the funny thing too is that cops don't. they don't think that far ahead. Is even if they arrest you on this, oh, I smell alcohol, this and this. Okay, take me to the hospital. Let's get, let them do an exam. They can do an exam and find out, if somebody drinks alcohol, there's telltale signs in their body. So when I do a blood or breathalyzer or whatever, and it all comes back negative, I'll see you in court, but you're going to be a defendant. You're going to
Yeah.
be explaining to your boss why your precinct is about to cough up $70,000.
Well, you'd be
Well, that's
surprised how many cops don't actually know the laws they're expected to enforce
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, that's the
Like
thing.
A lot of
Because
them
I'm on a first name basis with almost all of the cops in my local department because I work with them, right?
Well, you're a
And some
gigolo.
of them are
We'll
good
see how many
guys,
times they
and some of them
arrest you.
aren't. But that has nothing to do with any of this shit, Larry. But whatever, But
It has everything
it's
to do with everything, Samael.
I only ever tried to sleep with one of them. Thank you, and she's married now, so that's not going to happen.
As if that stopped you. As if it stopped you the first time. Probably why she remarried. Anyway.
Hey, she gave me her phone number.
Like I said, and that, folks, is his equivalent of I smell alcohol on you, ma'am.
Serious.
Look, it is what it is. But like there are some of these guys who go out there and they will say, "I smell alcohol on you," just as a pretense to get you out of the car and complying with all their little shit. And that way, if you stumble, you know how hard it is for most sober people to walk a straight fucking line or stand on one leg, or
Yeah,
say
it's
the
very
alphabet
hard.
backwards.
And that's what's so dangerous about field sobriety is that it's subjective. It's up to the cop's interpretation. And there's so many. If you're overweight, if you've got a bad knee or bad leg, or you've got balance issues or something like that, there's so many ways that they can go wrong. If they tell you to raise your legs, raise your foot 6 inches off the ground, and the cop doesn't even know the difference between 6 inches and 9 inches, that so the only out that you have is if you have some kind of medical issue. So
Can you put me back on the screen? Because I want to say something about the
you're on the
test.
screen.
No, I can't see you guys because it's so small, so teeny. But about the test, about the alcohol test that they do for you guys, do you guys know that test is not really about if you can do it or not? I think I talked to you guys about this before, right? That the
No.
test is probably 80% of following
think
directions,
so.
because the majority of time when people are drinking, they don't hear directions or they cannot remember the directions that was given to them. So this is why the directions are so meticulous. And you know how they say you take 9 steps and then you do a series of small steps when you turn back around and do another 9 steps back. The reason that they say 9 is because most people assume it will be 10 naturally. But if you were listening and you weren't drunk, you would have heard 9, but because you're drunk. So mostly it's about being able to follow directions more than your ability to actually complete the test. And then the other reason that the tests are is it's used as evidence to show to the judge so that the judge can make their own determinations of how drunk you were. This is the reason why the test is so important, that they want you to do it, because it's just another form of evidence to give to the judge that
Right.
this person was,
And that's why a lot of attorneys that at least I've seen on YouTube, that they always say it's better to not do the test and lose your license for 6 months than to actually do the test, because you're just giving them evidence against you. But I
But
would also
you don't lose your license for not doing the physical test. You lose your license for not doing the breathalyzer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What was I gonna say? Now my challenge would be to them is if somebody there's certain types of a TBI to where they can give you a series of instructions, and just as fast as they said it, you could forget it just that fast and have to ask again. Hey, what did you just say 15 seconds ago? Because I
Well,
have
that's why they
TBI.
ask you. That's why they
Yeah,
ask you before they do the test. They ask everyone, have you had a traumatic brain injury? Have you had anything happen to you before that? That they require
right.
to ask the people that before that. So that in the case of you, that would be your time to say yes, so that if you did forget something, the judge would see that and say, this person said that they have a TBI, so you would be fine. They're required to ask about that before you do the test.
Okay. Now, the next thing is just for you, Amir. I brought up what you were seeing on the screen was the caught cheating TikToks. So I was gonna show one, and then we're gonna go into Monsters Ball, and then we'll end it right there.
I can only stay for
He's
one
trying
video
to drive me
because
off the show, folks.
oh my god, I can only stay for one cheating video because
That's
it's my husband's birthday.
yeah,
I need to call him.
that's what I'm about to do right now. Just this one video. All right,
Let's
so
see.
this guy catches his girlfriend cheating on him with another guy at the cinema on Valentine's Day.
Oh wow.
There's no sound.
Yeah,
There's
you're
literally.
right. You're right. There's no sound.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
What's up, Kim? Kim, what we doing? This is what we doing, Kim?
Oh, it's his woman.
I'm talking to you, Kim. Your name Kim, right? Bro, this is Jasmine, bro. It's my wife.
Yeah, that's
Your
his wife.
No.
Yeah,
Wait,
I remember
what
this
her
one.
name? But you told me your name, Kim. We've been dating for a few months now. Who is this?
Oh.
Your husband? Yeah, I see that. I see that. Wow, I see that now. Like, so that's what we doing? Nah, it's Jasmine, bro. This Jasmine, your wife. Confused. Yeah. Confused. Yeah. Nah, man. We've been dating for a few months now. Yeah. So you learn about a lot of things now. See, you say you don't do social media. You say you don't security. So that's what you're doing? You calling security on me? But you say you don't do social media. I just found out you had a snap and you all on Valentine's Day. Come on, with him? And you supposed to be
Where's
with
his
me?
proof? Where's his proof that she
You
was
say
with
you
him?
don't say, but she got a whole
He
snap.
doesn't
That's
have
what we
it
doing, man.
because
It's
she
cool.
was
It's
really
cool.
good
It's
at how
cool.
she
So you
covered it
married?
up.
How you married? We were just 2 days ago. We was together
But
2 days ago.
any man could do this and just say to any woman.
We was together 2 days ago. Tell him that.
I don't know. If you don't have any pictures, if you don't have her phone number, you need to show me her phone number in your phone so I can know that you have been talking with her. But if I don't see any proof that you could be anybody just coming up and saying that because you didn't even know her name, first of all, even though she said that she gave her a wrong name. But my thing is, as working in the law field, I need evidence. Like if you can't show me that you were with her, I don't believe you. So he needs to show, hey, I have your phone number in my phone. And that way that husband can know, yeah,
Yeah,
my
there
wife.
was more to it. I can't remember all the details, but I remember that he started going through everything, but she covered her tracks so well that he wasn't able to convince the husband
Oh, really?
because she just
Well,
played stupid.
but why do you believe him? Why do you automatically believe him? Because
Yeah.
any man could do that. Go up to a woman. Imagine somebody comes
Yeah.
up to me and says, "Hey, Kim," and my name is Amira, and I'm like, "My name is Amira. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you lied to me too about your name?" Like, and I would be like so confused because I don't even know you.
No, I mean I get
This
it.
is a dude's equivalent of girls making false accusations about sexual assault. Where's the proof? You can't just make a
Walk
claim
up
and
to
I'm supposed to
somebody
just
and say
go,
that
oh
they did
well,
it.
there
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, no, I thought I'd bring that up, but yeah, I do remember watching that because I said the same thing. I was like, even if you're telling the truth, you can't even prove you can't even prove that this girl is who you say she is,
The
and she just
slightest thing that you could have is any form of communication that you guys have had. So if you guys were talking on Facebook or Insta, then you would say, hey, here's the messages of us talking, or I have her phone number, or here's a picture of us, or something that proves. But you don't have anything, then no. And how is it that she's able to remove her phone number from his phone? That's not possible. So that's why I don't believe that he's telling the truth. I think that was something to cause a problem with a woman, and I don't know until you.
Well, folks, with that said, Amira, thank you for joining us.
I'm gonna come right back. I'm coming back. I just need a second.
All right, well, we're going into the Monsters Ball, so if you want to participate in that, you go right ahead.
I sure do. I don't want to miss it. So I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
All right, bye.
All right. Sam, you want it?
Listen.
So those of you know me, if you're awake, if you're still awake, I don't know, but for Nomi, he's been. But so we have a brand new, brand spanking intro made by Devil Made Me Do It. Sam, go ahead.
Yeah.
If you want to hit the intro.
So before I do, for those who don't, we had to rework the music on this for copyright, which Devil went and did for us because he's a badass. The link for the channel where the music comes from is in the description below, and if anybody wants it, we can link the or drop the link for the full track in the chat as we go along. But yeah, here's the new and improved Monsters Ball intro.
Nice.
All right.
Nice guitar
All
riff.
right.
All righty. So tonight, my dear devil, is two Titans going at it. Two 80s Titans, right? It is the Predator versus the Terminator T-800.
No.
All right. All right. So let's start first with the T-800 guys.
Well, it's a beast.
It's definitely a beast.
The nearly indestructible endoskeleton covered by living tissue, programmed for precisely one thing, but it's got a learning CPU to enable it to be better at that one thing. So it can, blend in, it can adapt, it can, if it needs to wait, like say it overshot the time jump back in time to kill its target or whatever, in order to wait, it could do any number of things, including integrating itself into society, until such a time as it comes around that it can implement its full programming. I mean, it's a stealth unit, it's an infiltrator, an assassin, and a nearly unkillable one. That
good. Are you done?
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, well, I think kind of right out the bin, the Terminator has an advantage. Like you said, it's a stealth unit, so the Predator's probably not going to be able to tell that it's not a normal human. The problem is the Predator relies on its technology that the 800 would kind of ixnay that. I mean, it would be able to scan and see the Predator when the Predator tries to stay invisible. It's not, looking with human eyes. It'll see the Predator. And so, yeah, it's already at a disadvantage because it would be sitting there thinking it's being all clever, hiding, and the Terminator would be like, yeah, I know exactly where you are, asshole. And it would probably be able to hit him, point blank range. It's, targeting systems. So, yeah, I think the Predator, it's the Predator's thinking if it's in what's the old saying, bringing a knife to a gunfight, type situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's thinking it's one way. It's greatly underestimated how powerful its opponent is.
And see, another thing too, and I'll piggyback on that, is that the Predator sees an infrared. Its eyes it picks up on heat signatures, and it's the helmet that it wears enhances that. Well, I don't know how much heat the T-800 gives off, but when that Predator decides to get up and close and personal, unless it uses its shoulder blast, its little shoulder laser, that could present some problems. That'll present some problems for the 800, I think. If it was a T-1000, then it wouldn't. But the 800, I think would.
Well,
It would present a problem. Now, if the Predator gets up close, now the Predator, of course, it's tall. It's much larger than the T-800. I mean, Predators on average are over 7 feet tall, easy. But when that thing goes to shove one of those, Wolverine blades into that Predator, into that Terminator, it's gonna get a rude awakening, and that Terminator's got super strength too, and it's probably physically stronger than that Predator.
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly possible, but I think the thing that we're discounting here is the Predator's intelligence. I mean, you're talking about a star-spanning race, right? It's the plasma caster is of course probably going to be the key here for it. But in terms of like heat given off by the T-800. I mean, keep in mind that the living tissue it's surrounded in is in fact alive, and it is grown in a lab or whatever, but it is living tissue, and so it does generate some heat. But that said, Terminators also have a nuclear power source.
Yeah.
Right.
So they can see.
If nothing else, the Predator would be able to stand for because they also use nuclear power.
Right. So they both see each other, and they both got some pretty dangerous hardware.
But your assumption is that they would be scanning for it. If it sees it as a human, if it sees the 800 and it goes, okay, here's a human, it's not going to be scanning for nuclear material. It's going to be scanning for its skeleton, and that's probably where it would see is once it scans for the skeleton to see what its prize will be, it'll see it and say that's not a normal skeleton.
Yeah.
But like I said, at that point, it's probably already been seen by the 800 because, like I said, its assumption is going to be it's completely, safe because it can't see me when the 800 can.
Right.
Sure.
Now, and the other
so there's a comic book series. Sorry, Larry. There's a comic book series called Alien versus Terminator versus Predator, where all of this shit gets mixed around, and in it, the hunters show up specifically because what's happening is that the Weyland-Yutani assholes are using xenomorph DNA to splice into the Terminator's living parts, and to upgrade them and all that. And what it actually is it's a sleeper Terminator from the past after Skynet was defeated that was just hanging around till science advanced to a point where they could make unstoppable killing machines and then rebuild Skynet and kill everything in the universe. So the Predators take issue with this because they also live in the universe. they consider the Terminators abominations. So number one, it's got that going for it in terms of like actually seeing these things as a threat. Number two, if it's taking place in present day, the Terminator comes back in time, kills its target, right? How does the Predator choose prey, right? They look at whatever the strongest, most dangerous thing is, and they're going to see very clearly what the T-800 is capable of. It's going to be the prime target because it's going to be the most difficult thing in the area to bring down. So I don't see a scenario where the Predator isn't hunting the T-800. The T-800, on the other hand, I don't think is going to give a fuck because it's focused on humans until the Predator puts itself in the T-800's way, and then it's going to focus on that because it's a threat to the mission.
Right, but we're assuming this is a scenario where they are looking for each other. I understand what you're saying, but this is a battle. They are looking for each other, right? So I'm looking at it in that vein. Like Devil said, that Predator is going to scan that T-800 and it's going to know that damn thing ain't human, and it's gonna just fire, as we say in the Army. It's gonna just fire. So once it sees, hey, this thing is not human, my Wolverine claws is probably not gonna do jack squat against it. I'm sticking with the laser. You know what I mean? And then on top of it, I mean, so now you're looking at a long reach battle. And then on top of it, and now where that comes in is, of course, the Terminator is going to be armed. So the next question is, how durable is the Predator? I mean, does conventional bullets work on it? Because depending on the setting, depending on
they're not
right.
bulletproof.
No, they're stronger than humans, obviously, but they're still just flesh bags. They still can be cut open, broken down. You've seen Terminators when you watch. Is it the fourth movie? Is it the third or the fourth movie where he's going up against the girl Terminator who's
third one?
Is the third one? They're literally slamming each other through walls and breaking through bricks and stuff, just throwing each other through them and stuff, and it's not even phasing them. That's more stronger than what the Predator can take.
Yeah, the Predator is not going to win a hand-to-hand fight against the Terminator. It's not. Terminator's going to punch a hole.
But it all. You're absolutely right about that. If it allows the Terminator to get close enough, it's probably done for. But the Terminator's going to have to kill it outright, because if it doesn't, Predator's got a backup plan that's going to take them both out.
Boom.
And it also depends on what version of the 800. In the original Terminator movie, they play him as very slow and very more that you would see a robot being. In the later movies, the 800 moves fast. It's just like a human. It can run full speed. So if it was able to move at that thing, it could possibly bridge the space between a Predator on full run and catch up to him. But if he's the original kind, where he's very slow moving and kind of just lumbers around, then yeah, your Predator can keep a distance. And you'd also have to determine if the Predator's laser can cut through the bone. It can go through the fake skin, the grown skin, no problem. It would strip it off the metal skeleton. But would it be able to actually damage the metal underneath is the question.
And that, like you said,
I think it would. I think it would, because it's not a laser; it's heated plasma.
Yeah,
Then-
I mean, in the future, in the future time, they were using laser weapons, and those did work on the Terminators in John Connor's time. In the future.
That's true.
So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, it also depends on the T-800. I think it would work. I don't think one blast would do it. I think it would have to tee off on that sucker and then stay away from it, because it's gonna keep whatever's left is gonna keep crawling after it until it hits until it destroys its power source. If it's the T-1000, that Predator is gonna have an issue.
Yeah, like I said,
if it's the Robert Patrick T-1000, that Predator's, he's done.
It's also, like I said, the Predator has a chance, but it would have to make sure that it one was undetectable, which means it'd have to hit from cover, essentially. Like I said, the second the 800 gets a view on it, and it would be able to see it, it would automatically see it as a threat, because the damn thing's covered in weapons. It would scan it just like it's scanning it, the Terminator, and it would say, okay, he has all these weapons on him. This is obviously a threat to whatever purpose he has. Like I said, you're right. It would have to be. It's a difference between the distance battle and the up close battle. Up close battle, the Terminator has a definite advantage. He can just start breaking the limbs of the Predator. But distance, you're right. The Predator does have an advantage with the cannon, if he can get the shots, if he can get the hits.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. If the Predator can keep distance between them, it probably takes the fight. But because for being such big bastards, they're also very fast and very agile, and very capable of using their surroundings and thinking tactically on the fly. But if the T-800 can close the gap, I think the machine takes it. Otherwise, I don't see it going any other way.
I'm looking at the plasma weapons. I'm not so sure. I think it's like Devils, like you said, it's going to be scanning. They're going to be scanning each other. The Terminator is going to notice that shoulder weapon. He's going to scan that sucker. And remember, it's coming from the future, so it knows a laser weapon. It knows an energy weapon when it sees it, and it's the first thing it's going to shoot for.
Yeah, that's true too.
So it's basically the standoff. The standoff is going to be the telltale, because I mean, you can shoot that plasma shot, but I'm looking at it says it almost works like explodes on contact, almost like a grenade shrapnel. It hits the body and acts like shrapnel. Okay, well, if that's how it behaves, it's not going to stop the T-800 right away. It's not.
Might slow it down a little.
It might slow it down, but that's if the Predator is able to get the shot off while they're scanning each other. And I don't think the Predator's not. I mean, the Terminator's not going to just stand there and just let him shoot at him. Like you said, the first one's bulky, but I'm talking about the more modern version. So I honestly, for me, I got to go with the Terminator.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure. So because the Terminator is designed to take advantage of what it can use, because when it gets sent back through time, right, it can't take anything that's non-living with it. So it has to use whatever conventional weapons are of the day. Whereas a Predator, if they're aware of each other, if the T-800 is the focus of the hunt, right? Predators are like the fucking Batman of the universe. They do not come unprepared for this. So I would be willing to bet they've got some other higher tech that the only reason they use spears and shit with humans is because they consider that a fair fight. They do have better shit.
True.
So if it's matching something that's clearly, well past what a human is, it's going to bring commensurate stuff. It'd probably bring some kind of body armor to help protect its vital bits too.
I mean, they do have their armor and stuff, but I'm just talking about the Predator showing up, and it's got what is standard to it. Not saying, hey, before we go over this planet has Terminators and whatnot. Let's grab the giant blaster cannon, let's fly over with the ship and and blow it up. Now, of course, that's the easy thing to do. But if they're carrying what they just would normally carry, I mean, the Terminator would have a variety of weapons on it. They're both going to be armed, and like you said, they're going to scan each other, and it's going to be a standoff, man. But I believe that just for me, I think that the Predator is going to sit back and say, "That's not a damn human. I better not get close because I don't know what I'm dealing with." He's gonna look to fire that shoulder laser. The Terminator's not gonna give him a chance. He's gonna reach up and shoot that thing off his shoulder first. And once that happens, now that Predator is at a disadvantage, turning invisible is not gonna do anything, and he's got to get close. And a Terminator is just gonna pick him off.
Guys, I gotta get out here. I gotta eat before the thing.
It's time to go anyway. But like I said, let's just go around and I'll give the verdict from you guys.
Yeah, I'd say Terminator. Well, it depends. Like I said, up close, distance. But let's say Terminator.
Yeah, I agree. Sam.
Yeah, probably Terminator. Probably. I'm not 100% sold on that, but I think it's probably got the edge, yeah.
All right. Well, with that said, folks, thank you guys for coming through. Normally we do the round. Devil, you want to push anything?
Just Beelzebub here in 45 minutes or less.
You can catch him and Sam there. You can catch me here next week, and you can catch me on the Exile Lioness 2 channel tomorrow in the chat as a moderator. Thank you guys for coming through. Sam?
Yeah, just it'll be over on Beelzebub for Beelzebub here in about 40 minutes with Devil. Otherwise, you can catch me on Exile Lioness 2 probably tomorrow night. We are not doing Screaming into the Void tomorrow. I've got some shit I have to take care of IRL. So but we will return with Screaming into the Void next week. Otherwise, you can find me on Adam the Renaissance Nerd's channel for Mellow Mondays on Monday. That said, I think that's pretty much everything. Nomi, did you have anything?
No, not really. Besides, I'm streaming on Kick.
Okay, good deal.
All right, folks. Don't forget about
everybody's links are in the description below.
Yeah.
And then remember, guys, it could be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras.